talking about the
Hold
Battle
on a
of
second.
Kenai.
You guys know when you do something stupid? No? Just me? Okay, I didn't press go live earlier when I did the intro, too. That's great. I'm so happy. Welcome to the stream, everybody!
Woo!
Good thing this isn't an important one. I need a proper intro. Woo!
Welcome to the stream there, children.
Anyway, that'll do for an intro. Also, we have AC Pritchard and Bad Sauce here once again. There's a chance we will be joined by Chill Kid too, because he's the first person I talked to today about joining us. Let's see. He's working on it. He has his he's setting up his computer stuff. It's giving him some trouble. Also, Readout, that whole time earlier when I was talking to you, giving you crap, you missed all of it because we weren't live. You want to join us, man? Just message me. I'll send you I'll send you a link. It'll be good.
Yeah. He said, "Don't let your pampered college life hold you back. You know, skip rent."
I know. I like. It sounds like he's joking. I did say all of that.
Well,
yeah, no, man.
In the future, if there's if like you have like a misstart, you can kind of do what we did that other day when you popped in and found out it was muted. All we did is we did a soft reset, and then it's built into YouTube. You can just clip the beginning off. So you just
that's handy. That's handy.
Yeah, it's like take two kind of thing. But anyway, this works. I mean, either way.
Yeah, no. So for the it needs to be something I can physically say, which I can usually figure out Hawaiian words until the phrases and words get too long. But then it also needs to be simple, because once you start, like in Google Translate, specifically with Hawaiian, the more words and specific things you add, the more likely it is to mistranslate something and make something not quite right.
Dude, Google Translate's rough, man.
Oh, it is. Especially.
I mean, I imagine it's got. Yeah. I mean, we tried to use it in Japan. It just was like it was a nightmare. Because you could tell you just both looking at each other like that didn't make sense.
English is English is so different from a language like Japanese and Hawaiian is similar, is structured similarly, except there's no written portion to help you out.
Yeah, we have sentence structure unlike Japanese.
Well, it's not that they don't have sentence structure; it's just it's structured opposite, and then also a lot of it is contextual. Because their words are.
It's very.
Yo, John, John, we're just shooting the shit, man. You want to join us? Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, it's like every word is different in a different sentence. So like their numbers are different in every sentence, and it's also very it's really meant for people of nobility or the educated to be able to speak it and understand it. Kind of. I don't know. It's like there's 5 different versions of the language depending on your status, essentially.
Yes, I agree. And they have different formal or informal versions of speaking as well. Hello, Xander. Yeah. Nice to hear you, brother.
I do.
He's happy.
Also, John, yes, Bad Sauce does live on the short bus. It's where we all mentally. It's where we all truly reside. It's all the same short bus.
It's where
English
I started.
Has a lot of idiom. Well, English is tricky because one word can mean so many different things, and it's not like it's an official thing. It's just like cultural and contextual. But you guys, what do you guys think about that?
Well, the written words were worse for English.
Yes.
Read, read.
There.
I drive.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't help. Also, red. The color red.
Red rum.
Yeah. Red rum.
Oh, let me think. That's a thing too. I'm trying to figure this out. Like for the Hawaiian most of them, they sound very aggressive depending on which culture is performing it and writing it. Yeah. But it usually is more like a prayer than a war chant, at least lyrically. Even though it's the thigh slapping, eye bulging kind of intimidation thing.
Right. If you need any context, well, you know enough about Mio at this point. Like me and you were just keeping up about him the whole time.
So I got the title for the other clip when we kind of talked about literary agents. I'm going to title it "Literary Agents Won't Help you. they're racist. No.
Oh, guys, we're about to be joined by a gremlin.
Uh-oh.
Welcoming to the stage, the gayest man in 4 years to read the fourth wing. Welcome, Billy Bob, sir.
Y'all.
There we go.
I haven't read it, so that'd be
Yeah.
one of y'all, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
You're not
I
a
think
fourth
that-
wing sexual?
Oh, no, but evidently frequency is.
Let me think. Lawe ao ikamake. Lawe ao ikamake.
It's funny
Ao
you're
ikamake.
sick. It's funny you're working on that because I'm working on it too over here. There's
Yeah.
sudden violence of waves battering the side of the ship right now is one of the last
Ooh.
contents of the sentence.
Also, I'm not going to show it here because that's up to other people to share, but I did have art commissioned for this episode of Spirit Animals that's coming up
Yes.
for AC Pritchard by the great Matt of Metal Movies and Brewskis. He's a really, really good artist, and I'm probably I'll get the link for his comic here in just a little bit, which I need to support because his art is really fantastic, and he's a really cool guy too.
It's super unique. Yeah.
Billy, how's your evening going, brother?
I haven't been doing nothing today. I re-downloaded Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen
Oh yeah,
Played
yeah.
and played it for about 30 minutes and realized, oh yeah, this is why I don't like this game. I don't like the open world at all.
Open world's overrated.
That doesn't work. Huh, interesting. So I typed in, like, example, I typed into, in fact, I might even bring this up here. Let's see. Share screen. We'll do.
Oh, John, you do not drive the short bus. Listen, I started ground zero on the short bus. You did not. That's why you require an R pass from me if you're going to say retarded. I have to get that out.
Damn!
This is an example of what I was talking about.
Enough.
In English, I put in I bring death, and in Hawaiian, it translates to Lawe ao ikamake, which literally translates to I take death because it's easier to say. But then see, like, the actual thing that I typed is this, which is a lot more. Ke lawe ma ni ao ika.
I give death. You could make subtle changes like that until it works.
I
Right?
take death. I'm gonna try something else. Let me see.
Okay. That's so sick, dude.
Death.
That's such a cool opener. Like, oh, I've been doing this. I bring death.
Iki mai ka make.
You know,
Death
just
comes.
a little bit of bringing death. No big deal.
Little
You
death
know,
bring.
I could. You know, sometimes simplicity is better. Maybe just yell "die" as the first thing that you say.
Yeah.
Makima. Makimai.
Like the attention grabber. You just somebody over there yells "die," and then you look. And he's just like eyes bulging.
And it also has to feel good when you say it too. So let me see. Makimai. It's very short. Very short. Let's see. Hikimai ka make. Hikimai ka make. Ah.
Oh yeah, and then like a phonetic values too, right? Like the syllables,
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
the way it all kind of lyrically and audibly flows together. Also, anyone listening, I'm sorry, it's going to be a loud stream. I think Death Comes feels better when I say it out loud. So we're gonna keep that.
You got the Grim Reaper coming?
Death comes.
Death
Sick.
comes. Let me
Dude,
see.
that I already told you what it's foreshadowing, right? Like when he first appears. I think I told you that. Yeah. Okay.
Yo,
That's-
Alicia, Birdie and Books, welcome
So
welcome
what-
to the stream. If
So
you
wasn't that
want to
what,
hop on, just message me and I'll send you a link.
So wasn't that what Thanos was wanting in the comics for Death to come?
Balance. Well, yeah. He was in love with Death.
Yes.
Death is
In the
like a
comics,
female. Yeah.
And Hillary Clinton was very against it. She said, "Don't come. I'm gonna come."
I mean, they're best friends.
Fucking-
That's hilarious.
Oh,
Yes.
I love it, man.
But yeah, he was like he was like in love with death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
just wanted
he was
Death to
doing everything to show off for Death to try to impress her, which is pretty baller.
Yeah, it's metal. It's pretty
Yeah.
metal. I mean, this is probably one of the instances where they changed it from the comics, and it still kind of worked out with modern Thanos.
How do you
decent,
how do you
yeah.
how do you
Yeah.
spell Mewtwo? How are you spelling
Miotu is how it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think what I did is I went back to our original conversation, and I found that's how you spell. Like that's what we came up with originally. So,
Yeah.
and I just stuck
Ua make oi.
sick.
Sexy, tremendously.
Yes.
We're just having fun here, guys. If anyone wants to join, just send me a message on Twitter or likewise link in the description. It should be fun. Let me see. I think for this I want it center aligned. Yeah, there we go. That's the sauce. Okay, let's see. We're gonna make it a little bigger. We're gonna make it high impact, tremendous impact. Yeah, that's the stuff. Hikimakamake. Oh, dude, I used to be able to bulge my eyes a little bit like that, but I can't do it like they can. They're very, very good at it.
Yeah,
I used to be able to squirt water out of my eyes.
that's sick.
Oh.
Excuse me?
I used to be able to. It got really bored, and I learned how to like squirt like water like a stream. I'm not kidding.
That feels very much like a Segoy.
It was like back when I was in high school. I had too much time on my hands.
Herman P. Hunter, the Lore Forge, is here to share his wisdom. I'm going to do my impression of him. Just so everyone knows, I'm hammered.
Clean your
very
dick.
existential.
Don't forget to clean your room and your dick.
Always.
Pritchard, the unrevealed logo. I need it on a sale, and I need it. I need the parts so I can make like a motion thing.
Okay, on a sale, and then you need.
Yeah.
Here, I'll send it to you right now. What parts?
Oh, just the parts individually,
Oh, okay.
so you can like have them move.
Gotcha.
Let me see.
The only problem with that is they won't have the same effect.
Well,
You
got
guys heard
purpose.
Chillkid. You better smash that like button before he smashes his laptop. So anyone who's having an issue, you're not the only one, man. It's all right. It's okay. It's gonna be okay.
Brother.
All right,
Come
Christian,
chill.
put resistance is futile in there.
Yeah, do that.
It's here. Let me try this.
Hope is here. That's sick too.
Ayaka monololana ma'anea. There is hope here, or here is hope. What sounds better just in English to you guys?
There's hope here to me. It's just me.
Ayaka monololana ma'anea.
Sick.
Sounds good.
I need to work on my pronunciation. I know I messed up one spot in there. It's so tricky, dude. It's so tricky. Even me, who knows enough of how the language is pronounced.
Right.
Don't worry, I'll teach you. I'm clearly the expert.
Obviously. Hope. Let's see. I'm gonna check that. There is hope here. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I'm gonna have the translation down below. No.
Oh, let's see.
Are you working on anything, Billy Bob? And are you hosting the volume 4, or is that going to be Otter?
That's
Or-
Otter. He gets to have a wild time, you know.
Why? Yeah. Everybody keeps talking about that. Oh yeah, Bats also was able to join us for that last Berserk stream. That was
That's fun.
a fun time.
I will
get to-
talk Berserk any day, anytime.
I
Any
get to
day,
cover-
anytime.
I get to cover the worst parts of the eclipse. At the beginning of Lost Children.
AC, if you want to show something off on the stream, I can bring. You can try to present it, and I'll allow it, or I can do it
Okay.
either way. I'm
Do you
gonna,
wanna
in honor of Chillkid hopefully joining us, I'm gonna play some of his
Yes.
some of his music just in honor from his Try Hard album, which is awesome, dude. By the way, anyone who knows Chill Kid, Try Hard is his best album by far. He way blew my expectations out of the water. It's fantastic, man. Also, Chill Kid says, "Do this one. No one goes beyond the reef, Moana." It's funny. It's like Hawaiian is one of those languages where you're going to see a lot of names repeating a lot, like Miley, Malia, Moana.
It's sick.
I mean, it's a lot of cultures too. I mean, shit. Go to Britain. Back some years ago, it's like, or like everybody back in the day, their name was Mary.
I just want to say, guys, it's only
Yes.
been 15 minutes, but I'm having a blast. This is actually like super fun. I think we should encourage group productive streams. That's cool. It's kind of like what Daniel
it's
Riley
great time.
does a little bit. Reminds me of
Oh,
that.
for sure, that's what he does. Yeah.
Yeah. Bad sauce. Did you want me to because I take those assets, do you want me to import those into my program and try to get the same looking effect as the final? Because I did have the final of that thing.
I don't know if it's
Already.
going to be that important because they'll be in motion, and I'm going to
Okay.
add some effects. So
Okay, well
Yeah.
I flagged them here for you in the chats.
yeah.
Also, Chill Kid mentions it's the first album he released on vinyl, physical media for the win. I used to have vinyl. Again, it's one of those things that got lost in the divorce, but I do want to collect some of that again.
I saw Chill Kid's post about it on Twitter or X. I think he did a video of like opening up the first one and stuff. It was just like videos like that are just super freaking inspirational, and like it looks so good. Like the freaking case and everything. He pulls it out. I'm just like, oh man, that's one thing that was one box I never got to check from my music days. Is I never got a vinyl. I got I got the music video. I got the tour. You know, I checked like all the boxes, but never got the vinyl. So I'm Jello.
Yeah.
Jello.
Jello. Wait, that's not right.
Dude, I bet you did. I bet you did, Showkid. I would have too. I would have almost cried too.
Okay, let me see. What did I do wrong here? I forgot to leave the translation for the first line, and I haven't been able to figure out what it was again, so I have to translate the opposite way now.
Listen, you gotta put resistance as futile. See what it comes out to.
Death comes. I'm gonna come. Anyway. I will never not laugh at that line. Alright. There we go.
Anybody who's planning on joining from the various sources that the link went out to, just know that StreamYard also works very well with cell phones.
Yeah.
Works very well with cell phones.
It does. You can't really host without you can't really host from your phone, but you can be a very fun guest from your phone. I've done it many times. People have seen me fall off of my longboard many times in my garage while being on a weekly wing it, or almost showing too much of myself on another stream one time, if I remember correctly. That was a while ago, but you know, it happens. I'm still the best of us. I'm like it's like I was trying to be one of those hot tub streamers. All right, let's see. You might also Chill Kid says you might check out Kunaki, which is it's actually pretty easy to set up. What is that in reference to, by the way? Does anyone know?
No.
Also,
Kunaki.
Animation Overload has been posting possibly Hawaiian language. I haven't tried to translate it. Ho'omalu.
Oh, sick.
Kia'i. Ho'omalu. There you go.
Say that again. I was interrupting. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
I was just saying.
Kia'i. Ho'omalu. Yeah, I think that's right.
Kia'i.
I always gotta double check with that, man. Hawaiian, even for me, like I see some of them, like some of my family's Hawaiian names are like 2 or 3 sentences long. It's like, oh, your middle name is a poem, by the way. Just wanted to let you know.
That's sick. That's sick.
Hail the panel! Hail to the chat! I'm gonna shout out Fu Man Blue here. The guy's a legend. I played Helldivers 2 with him a couple of times. He shows up here and Royce's streams, obviously, and then he is a moderator for Captain Garrett on Swords and Starships. The guy is awesome.
Hail, Fu Man Blue.
Hail!
Fu Man Blue!
All right, now I gotta go from English to Hawaiian again, and just remember to translate both. Let's see. Okay, so it's barely anything so far, but Hiki mai ka make, death comes. Aya ka manaloa lana, ma'anea, there is hope here. All right,
Sick.
not bad at all. I need to.
BRB, I gotta put the kid's stories back on before he rebels.
I heard him at the beginning of the rebellion earlier.
Yeah, it's the whispers of revolution are stirring.
Here, Christian, I put one in there for.
I
private
see
chat.
that. I'm concerned.
Connected.
Concerned. I'm taking a stance.
Or maybe
I'm
I
taking
fucked
an
it up.
attitude.
I maybe fucked it up at how I put it in there. It's supposed to be I'm taking a shit.
That's about right. Oh, holy smokes, dude. Now let's see. I don't think this is gonna translate properly. Let's see. Oh, interesting. One of them is if it's somebody's name. One of the translations, it doesn't change it. It just changes it from a sentence, like a statement, to somebody's name.
Interesting.
Hi hoku ko'u lima. Okay.
I do have something that I can share for some of the author friends of ours listening or watching. It'd be more of a watching thing.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just messing around, man.
Yeah.
Well, actually, not even a watching thing. Now that I think about it.
You can show.
We'll listen
I got
thing.
my outro too. If you guys want to see it for the clips.
Oh yeah, I'd like to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not on the couple most recent ones because I went back and tweaked a little bit more. Let's see.
I have a star in my hand. That's what it is. Okay.
And now I really have freaking Sail from A1 Nation stuck in my head like bad.
Sail!
Sail! Let's see.
There we go.
Oh, can I just I can just upload the video file. Okay, let me see.
I don't know how loud it would be.
I'm sorry, chill kid, man. That's rough. He's the first person I talked to. I'm like, let's think about having just a chill stream. You want to hang out? He's like, yeah, man, I'll join you. And now he's having technology problems. I'm sorry, bro. It's rough.
Bummer.
I blame it on the ad, baby.
Ad baby. Blame it on the ad baby.
Bummer. Oh well.
Oh, it happens, man.
We'll get you, Chuck.
The C is your. Oh no! What did I do? No.
Yep. You tag Alex Jones in a post, and you immediately have some thought follow you.
All right, I'll pause this. Is this an audio thing, brother?
Yeah, there's a little bit. It's just a short video, 40 seconds. Let me know if you guys can hear it. If
I
not, I
don't
may.
hear anything yet, but you're not playing it yet, so.
Okay. I'm gonna.
What if finish? What if it's good? What if somebody reads it? What if somebody
Pause,
hates
pause,
it?
pause, pause, pause,
What
pause.
if somebody
We're getting an echo. You might have to mute yourself while you play it. I muted you already. Try it again.
highlights it, saves it? What if somebody shares it? What if you get that agent? What if it becomes a movie? What if it just works out for you? What if it's bigger than you ever expected? What if it's life changing? What if it's not? What if it's more than life changing? What if you're proud? What if you feel blessed? What if it helps somebody? What if somebody is healed? What if somebody's touched? What if somebody escapes? What if somebody's happy? What if someone sees themselves? What if you become someone's favorite author?
It's really weird to have somebody talk about my penis like that for a while.
All right, we're gonna be joined by a wholesome person here in a minute. So be careful. Oh, birdie and books. There we go. There she is. All right. Twitter, you make it sound very stalkerish. You follow each other. It's not weird. All right, let's see. Oh, I just sent her a Hawaiian sentence. Let me send her the stream link. Okay, let's see. Let's try this one more time. I'm Duke Nukem. I've got balls of steel. Anyway, had to get that out before, continuing.
Oh yeah.
Gotta get the lead out. There we go. There we go. What? Oh no! What am I doing? What the? Sorry, I just played another stream of ours I was going through earlier. Okay, let's see. We'll go back to this real quick. Oh, Bat Sauce, you have the thing to share. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Boom.
You just watched a clip from our show, Sailing the Iron Seas. Check it out live every Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern. It's on multiple channels, so follow my Twitter, @BatSauce, to make sure you know where it is to see it live.
I need to figure out how to wear the hat and the headphones for our next Iron Seas stream.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 I used to have a captain's hat. I don't know what happened to it. I used to whoever was driving the band bus had to wear it. They're the captain.
So you think you're fit to sail the Iron Seas? Let me tell you something, laddie. You've never seen coarser surf and larger ships. You've never seen enemies like this or krakens reaching up from the depths of the sea to pull you down under.
Okay, that'd be really good
uncharted.
to put in like towards the end or right at the beginning of it.
Right.
I know. I need to work on that script too, but I want to work on this for a little bit longer. Yeah. Let me see. What was the last thing I did? Let's see. Did I have okay. English version, death comes. There is hope here. I have a star in my hand. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go back. Let's see. I'm not much of a poet, but I used to write poetry back in the day. Go ahead, Billy Bob.
What's up, Billy Bob?
Did you hear that there's going to be a Rady boy sacrificing his friends and loved ones tomorrow?
What? What?
So there's going to be a Rady boy sacrificing his friends and loved ones tomorrow.
How so? Because of the eclipse?
Yeah.
What?
A Rady boy. What if they found out I tried to be with a Rady boy and turned out to be a Rady girl?
No. What would they think if I found out I tried to fuck a Rady boy and it turned out to be a
I was trying to censor it, but there's no censoring that. All right.
Yeah, I'm autistic. You have to explain jokes to me.
I didn't get it either.
I need to see this. I need to see this one. The English word sentence is "the sea is your grave," but I don't know about the Hawaiian. It's okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Cow. Lua Kupa. Oh, I don't
Yeah, I
know if
would
I
have
can
just
say
said
that.
Ka.
Nah, that's gay.
The Sea is Your Grave is pretty epic, though,
It is.
I must say.
What about you
What if-
die at sea?
What about the grave is the sea? Says the same thing, but it might be come
It
out
changes
better.
the set.
Clever.
It does a lot to the actual Hawaiian words. Let me see.
It's clever, though. Just
Let me
flipping
think.
it.
Sea is your.
You guys think it's realistic for somebody who grew up like in a forest to be able to keep their footing on a ship? The logic being like a fallen tree trunk with like moss and shit on it, all over it, and like mossy rocks and stuff in the rain is like much slipperier than like
Yep.
a rainy.
But when
Uh,
No.
the big difference would be
No.
that like,
It's a
you have the
very,
actual
very
ocean
different.
rocking a boat and stuff.
Right.
yeah.
AC they would be very good at climbing the rigging and the
Yeah.
actual construction
Yes.
of the ship,
Yes.
but it has nothing to do with whether they have an affinity for the tide and for the rhythm of the ocean. It'll mess you up.
Yeah, he's just barely managing to keep his footing, and his stomach is churning. But I want him to still be able to help a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
somebody could be like if you don't mention it, I mean, you can assume that somebody could naturally be fine on a boat. Like they don't
Yeah.
need necessarily,
Yeah, the
prior
iceberg
training. Yeah.
theory. Yeah, just only explain when you gotta.
Yeah.
Make o makeka. Make o makeka. Okay, I can see it.
Hell yeah.
I like that one. All right. There's two translations of this one. You die at sea. It's either you die at sea or you drown in the sea. I think make o ikk.
I just thought of breathe in the sea. Also, I like breathe it in. You're drowning, essentially. That's a good one too.
breathe.
Welcome to the
in
lab,
the
ladies and
sea.
gentlemen. Your host,
This
DJ.
is how the sausage gets made, not how it's distributed. That's a whole different thing. No. That sounds dirty. Ugh. Breathe the sea. Okay,
Question.
breathe the sea or breathe in the sea. Hano I kekai.
You got someone wanting to join in?
Who?
Alyssa.
Oh, you're here.
What happened?
Where are you? Did you click the link?
They sent a message in the private chat.
I know.
Something just lagged really hard. for
Oh,
me.
I couldn't see you, Alicia. Sorry about that.
No worries.
There's two layers there. I couldn't see you.
It's okay. I wasn't sure if sometimes Streamlabs doesn't like to work on my computer, so I wasn't sure if it was a me thing.
No, you tell him he's sexist for not acknowledging you.
Yeah, we all saw it.
That is a horrible lie. And I'll have you know I'm sexist for entirely separate reasons. Welcome to the stream, Alicia.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We'll focus on us for a
Hello.
second. So what's going on? Do you want to hang out? Just shoot the shit? Kind of work on? Are you
I'm
working
just
on
kinda
anything right now?
here. Yeah, I just finished cleaning, so
Oh, I definitely also cleaned today all the things that I had to. It's fine. Nothing went. Surely I'm not a liar.
adulting.
All right, guys. I need your opinion. So we have English. It's breathe in the sea or breathe. Wait, breathe the sea or breathe
Mhm.
in the sea. Obviously, breathe
Breathe
in
of
the
the
sea.
sea.
Yeah, breathe
Breath of
in.
the sea.
Well, the Hawaiian version, it sounds very
Breathe
different
in.
in each. It's ha. Okay, so breathe in is going to be hanu I loko o kekai. Hanu I loko o kekai. And as opposed to breathe the sea, which is hanu I kekai.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to think about that one for a second.
Mhm. Yeah, you know more.
Any fun plan? You want to tell everybody about your channel and what you do? I met you on that shelf-centered 3,000 subscriber screen. That's where I met you at.
Yeah, through Bryce.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm Birdie in the Books. I mainly do like author interviews and deep dives and conversations. I've been working on a series on my channel, deep diving into classics.
Ooh, yeah. What books have you gone into recently?
The first one that I'm doing, which will be the end of this month, will be Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen.
Oh, I have a whole collection of hers. I was wanting to start reading them this year. In an
If you
attempt
wanna
to
join?
also. Okay, I'll have to.
No pressure.
Put it in the private chat real quick. What specific the name of the specific book is? I'll see if it's in my collection, and then if it is, I can read it. It'd be fun.
Yeah, of course. Give me 1 second.
I've heard nothing but good things about Austin for sure.
I've read her.
Same.
I read her when I was younger, and she's very charming. She's very good at dialogue.
Yeah.
Always has been.
Yeah.
Isn't that one movie based off of her book?
He's very funny.
Many.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what it is. It's got Keira Knightley in it.
Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
2005
good book,
Pride and
yeah.
Prejudice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's probably her
I
most-
think there was an older one as well, but I don't remember who was in that one. I don't think I ever saw it.
95. It was
95?
Colin Firth. That's all I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Also, she's very funny too as a writer. She writes humor very
Yes.
like comedy and humor very well. Humor and comedy. It's very hard to write, in my opinion. It's kind of like
Yes.
like it's a lot of comedians are really good dramatic actors because if you're able to make people laugh, you'll be able to make them cry a lot easier. I think that's the running theory anyway.
Yeah, a
I
lot
like
of
that.
comedies
Let's use that.
make you let your guard down. Like How I Met Your Mother has like some of the like saddest moments in it, or Futurama. It's funny
say
till
that
it's
again?
not.
Say that again.
Oh, like some comedies have like the saddest moments in it because like it lets you guard down. Like How I Met Your Mother when Marshall's his dad passed, or like when or Futurama with the dog. Like it's probably the saddest moments in TV. And
You're right.
Definitely some of them.
mm.
Yeah.
There's
Like How I
there's
Met
like
Your
they're
Mother,
both comedies.
they needed more. They needed to have some consistency in their storytelling. But when it was on, the writing for that show was brilliant and very.
The first
very
few
funny.
seasons were fantastic.
yeah.
I think there's this really beautiful area in the middle where it was not just good because it was new, but it was just good.
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely one of those shows that went on way beyond when they should have.
Agreed.
I feel like that's happening to a lot.
Yeah,
of
they went
shows.
on farther.
There's this psychology to what you're talking about there. It's the same reason why comedians are such good actors. And there's some sort of magical harmony that happens between like those opposites where it's like comedy and horror, or like comedy and sadness, laughter and sadness. And I can vouch for this being even like in the music industry. For example, one thing that I noticed personally that draws me, or like is like a flag to me that like a metal song is like a good metal song, is when they understand this idea. And that's, you can't just be like crazy thrashing the whole time. That would be like the horror movie, right? The horror movie. This is why horror comedy is such a good thing. Some people can't just watch horror movie the whole time. You need a little like of a love story, or like a little wholesomeness or comedy, something to break the tension. And that's where like
Well, you need the light, or you'll never appreciate the dark, and the
Cabin
goes
in the
the other
Woods.
way as well.
Right. So in between bands, in between sets, the clubs would play like old timey jazz, like really soft, like acoustic stuff, just to kind of clear everybody's palate for the next metal band. You know what I mean? It's fascinating, the whole thing.
So Christian,
Yeah, Billy.
last night was me, Otter, and Trippy, and we all decided to play Fallout 4 for some reason.
I
But
know
while
playing
we're on-
Fallout.
Yeah, while we were on that, Trippy made me watch the new Fallout TV show trailer, and it looks bad, man. Like the outfits are atrocious.
It doesn't look as bad as some of the other things that have been adapted recently, but yeah. Alicia, what about you? Do you keep up with adaptations and all of the things we
I
loved
try
growing up being
to.
destroyed?
There's so many coming out that I have a hard time.
Yeah. At least some have been really good. Like Shogun
Yeah.
is awesome. If you've seen
My
that.
boyfriend's the gamer, so he's the one that tells me all about the gaming stuff.
Is it mostly just angry, like mumbling and screaming?
Depending on the game, yeah. But he was impressed with the Last of Us adaptation.
Yeah, everybody.
A lot of people are, yeah.
It was a good adaptation.
Yep. There's a couple eyebrow raising things, but that's
like AC said, a couple eyebrow raising things, but overall, they made a compelling story with very good visuals, very good direction. Actually, I don't know who directed the whole show or was it on episode by episode basis, but they did a very good job.
Well, that's because you haven't got The Last of Us Part 2 adapted yet.
Yeah. Well, at least they adapted it like decently faithful from what I heard. But like, yeah, The Last of Us Part 2, it doesn't matter if they do that or not. It'll be like the second story.
I get frustrated with adaptations because people get so aggravated that it's not exact. Well, certain things can't be exact if they're from books or from a different type of media because it's a different form of media. So some things have to change.
It's about keeping the spirit of whatever.
Exactly. And that's I'm just like, there's certain things that I understand why people are pissed, and then there's other things I'm just like, you're just picking to pick this thing apart. So.
I think what it is that most of us who are so dissatisfied with like the what they're doing, like they're thieves in the night coming in to take stories and things that we love, and they are using it to promote their own ideology or worldview.
Exactly.
In lieu of telling a good and proper story or a proper adaptation.
Yeah, and it goes back to some of the older adaptations. Like some of them aren't as fun as we remember, but we gave it more of a pass. And I'm curious if that's just because it wasn't so rampant back then, or if it's more something like
I think it's
a little bit more forgiveness for budget and stuff.
I think we value earnest effort and someone with a real vision, even if they stumble along the way. Like watching Conan, the old Conan the Barbarian movie, never saw it when I was a kid. Yeah. It has problems, but there's a lot that I love and appreciate about that film at the end of the day.
Well, that you could definitely forgive, like when he's fighting the snake and it's very obviously not a real snake.
It looks really good despite that, though. Like,
it's like a stylistic thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's certain things like that.
Yeah, it's also a time thing where like the special effects weren't as good in the 80s as they are now.
Yeah, that's kind of the point I was making. It's right because it's like when a modern movie comes out and we're very hard when the effects are not up to par because it's like, well, we're in 2024, we're not in the 80s. Like, come on, guys, people are making better stuff in their basement.
Also, it helps having the voiceover for that movie be done by Mako. What a legend, dude! The guy's awesome. He was also that was also he was Uncle Iroh in the Last Airbender as well.
Wait, Mako and what though?
Mako was the actor's name.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. They in Legend of Korra they named the character Mako after him. Which is disappointing because that character was not very good.
Was any character good in that?
You shut your little mouth there, son.
Wait, hold up. What series?
The Legend of Korra.
I think you're all saying it wrong.
I know what you're going to
say. Look, this could be a reoccurring segment on our show. You better be ready.
Wally. No, Wally.
Read out was defending it, and he eventually soured on it now.
Yeah.
What if I take out the I?
Whoops.
Let me see.
What's up, badass
Turner? E Kamea.
It's in the Turner.
What'd you say?
Right. English word, English sentence, protect the weak. Hawaiian translation. Pali E Ka Mea Nawali Wali. It doesn't feel good to say though.
I just say calm down. There you go.
I wonder.
Death comes. Death comes, right, Turner?
That was a great one. Let me see. Let me see.
So what are you translating? What are you working on that you're translating?
It's actually for AC Pritchard. He has this free series called Spirit Animals, and it's where the spirit of an animal, a spirit guide in the form of an animal, can form a connection with a person or a sentient creature in his fantasy world. And in episode 2, which is he's been writing recently, it's going to be released in the written form, and then we're going to have an audio version of it. And I'm writing a Ha'a, or a more commonly known Haka, for
Yeah.
a Hawaiian-inspired character that is going to appear in there. His spirit animal will be a giant ship-sized turtle, sea turtle, and it's
I love it.
Do you guys want to hear a little bit? I can read you the first page.
Ooh, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, real quick before I forget my question I had. The main character is a kid. I'm just curious why he chose. Was that a particular decision?
Yeah. Yep.
It's a child-friendly show for one thing,
right.
Yeah.
If I am constantly aware that my protagonist is a kid, it'll keep me in check, because it's like, do I have a kid stab somebody in the throat? Do I have a kid witness somebody get beheaded? You know what I mean? It forces me to always think about it. And so I can kind of strategically plan the violence in a very, I think, even more clever than like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. But that's kind of the level I'm aiming for, is like, even though there's beheadings in Lord of the Rings and stuff, if I can somehow cleverly get it so that it's like all ages, like adults, and like, oh, parents can also give this to their kid and it's fine. You know what I mean? I would still ultimately like people like you guys to enjoy it too. The idea is to also be able to pass it down. Like, oh yeah, here, read this.
More like an all ages story
Yeah.
than a
Yeah.
children's story.
Yeah.
I got it. No.
Feel okay
there's-
giving it to my 9-year-old little brother.
Right.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like a kid, when he's the when there's a child protagonist, that's the definition. That's like the beginning of a character arc. There's so much growth that can happen there. Like, think about the handicap that a child has. Like, I was just thinking about this the other day. My son's arms, like, I can feel his bones, and like my thumb. You know, I can I'm just like, dude, kids are so freaking fragile. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Alicia, do you have any kids? I forgot to ask you before.
Oh no, I don't.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We'll keep you here. It's fine.
If you need any like helps with someone, if you're trying to do a character with a handicap, I can help with that, because I'm also handicapped as well. So if you need someone to read it and see if it's true to form, I can help with that if you want.
Sensitivity.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's a good resource. It's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
His only handicap.
It's kind of a tricky line to walk a little bit, because you don't want to portray them in an unrealistic light, but also not in a negative
And that's
light.
the biggest thing that bothers me is the, oh my God, the thing that they have to overcome is their disability. They'll be magically fixed in this magical world with this whatever. And I'm like,
Right.
The Witcher does that a little bit.
it pisses me off so much.
The show is worse for that, but yeah.
His handicap would be his age, his size, his bone density,
Okay.
his naivety. You know what I mean? Like,
What age is the kid supposed to
I haven't nailed that down yet, but
That's
he's
the tricky part.
I haven't nailed that down yet.
He's a wild too, so you kind of get away with that too, because you don't have like a certain expectation for like grade level or something like that.
Right. He doesn't.
And please,
know.
the kid actually act like a kid. I can't stand when I read him.
I
6-year-old
try,
is talking like a 30-year-old.
Yeah,
He tells
so
people
that's
they
why-
stink. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, because I told AC like I had like a bunch of kids in my book, and I completely scrapped it and changed it because I'm like, dude, I cannot write kids.
Yeah,
Writing children is tough.
It's tough.
Historically, people ask George R.R. Martin all the time what the hardest character for him to write, and he always says the children, but specifically Bran. Yeah, because he's the youngest.
He does a good job, though.
He does.
He does.
Yeah, like Bran hearing people have sex, he's like, oh, they're making noises and it sounds like they're hurting each other, but they like it. Like, you know, like
This is
he
nothing,
gets really good with
Bren.
it.
They are simply doing nude push-ups in the
Yeah.
same place.
Yeah, it's funny. He does good.
Also, Elise. Oh, whoa. Excuse me. Sorry. That was
Fine.
Also, forgive any of our crudeness, by the way.
Oh, I have 5 brothers. You're fine.
Okay. Anyway, let it loose, boy. Okay.
You're fine. I have 5 brothers, and up until 2 years ago, I was the only girl in the family, so you're fine.
All right. Release the Kraken.
Yeah, you could. I come from a hockey family, so I probably heard it all.
Well, this is a
Probably,
great time
probably,
to bring
probably
up
through a
Fourth
mouth
Wing,
with
man.
missing teeth, knowing hockey as well.
Yes. Yes.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Oh, jeez. Okay,
It takes
so
a lot to
anyways,
offend me, so you're fine.
Mockingjay, Christian.
yeah.
Since you can go all out, there you go. Here's your favorite topic, your favorite book.
Mockingjay.
So
Is that
Alicia,
the third one, or-
we did on a friend of ours channel. We reread and had 3 streams of us talking about the entire OG Hunger Games trilogy. And
Okay.
first one was like, oh wow, we actually had a much different remembrance of the first book than we all had a pretty positive reception to it.
Yeah.
Book 2, a few more problems than I remember, but overall it's still my favorite book. And then book 3 exists.
She just gave up.
Are you counting the prequel that came out a couple of years ago that I refused to read?
Oh my
No,
god.
what
Oh,
prequel?
geez.
Doesn't exist.
I refuse.
Something,
dude, that was-
something snakes.
If we're talking Hunger Games,
Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes or something, and it's ridiculous.
That's
A ballad of snakes and songbirds,
Ballad,
which
yeah.
I'm embarrassed
No,
that I
it's
know.
not. It's
But
something snakes.
it was, yeah.
if we're
Forever be
talking,
the
if we're
I
talking
just
Hunger
have,
Games,
watch your ears, but I just have one thing to say about
Oh.
the 3rd book in the series. You can't shoot a jet down with a bow and arrow. Okay, that's
For real.
It was the whole stream was basically that for 2 hours. It was fun.
put that animation overload.
Honu ma lalo.
What were you
How do I
trying to
say
say?
that?
AC?
Lalo.
I forgot before. Oh, okay. So, I will say about Hunger Games, if we're talking about Hunger Games, that the first book is actually a pretty good low-level study for like first person. But I would say
I agree.
any authors that look into that, just skip the character introduction. Because I don't even think the author of Hunger Games did it correctly.
Bad.
Yeah, the looking in the mirror thing, that thing. Everything else was good, but then like you look in the mirror and it's like, oh, okay, this is a stereotype.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I
it
read-
opens it up
Consistently, the biggest problem with the Hunger Games trilogy is the world building does not make any sense.
Oh.
The more you think
Well-
about it, the less it makes sense. It's a
Well,
very
in the
One.
first book, you also had not good flashback scenes, like one after
Yeah.
another.
I
Yeah.
think, what's his face? Gale appeared more in flashback than he did in the actual book.
Yeah.
Until book 3, and I hate that character.
And there didn't need to be a love triangle.
No,
No.
no, there didn't. There's a lot of
There should
apply
not have
that to,
been
like,
a love
everything.
triangle because no one could possibly romantically love Katniss Everdeen. Moving on.
Right.
Thank you. I don't
Sorry.
like love
So,
triangles, period, but that one was like the first one that I was like, I hate this.
It made a lot more sense, though. At least.
I do think her character motivations and characterization was very, very good. She knew how to create a compelling character and how to make them somewhat believable. Most
At
of the
least,
time.
at least it was like way better than the movie. I read it after the movie, and it was like, why is she acting this way to her mom? And then it's at least explained somewhat in the book.
And,
Yeah.
and
Also-
when I was younger, I was like, why did they pick her? Why did they cast her as Katniss Everdeen? And then I got older, I'm like, actually, I think that was a perfect casting. She's just unlikable, just like
She's
that.
just as insufferable. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will add, bow and arrow, not a good choice. You need so much upper body strength and your whole body just like. I'm looking at my own work, and I have an old king who prefers to use a bow and arrow, and I regret that because he's old. He's
At
old.
least with At least with the age, they could easily just say it's a what's the boat called with the wheels top and bottom?
Compound
Compact?
or whatever. Yeah, or
Yeah, compound bow. Yeah, where like it's fucking pull it real easily.
First
She
ever.
was.
Fu Man Blue, I have to do a small correction. She was the first female ever for anything, actually.
Ever.
Not just the first female action hero.
Which
Aliens.
upsetting.
Wizard of Oz.
She was the
took that
first
one.
Adam and Eve.
Mhm. Yeah, she was both. Yeah.
She's like, yeah. Anyway, I'll be Eve, and I'll be Adam.
No. She was already Adam. But then she said,
Oh.
God, you're going to make another one of me with my rib. You know?
That's what they'd have us
So-
believe.
Anyway, Alicia, don't mind our nonsense.
In my
Hey,
in my
this,
unreleased book.
this feels like I'm back home in New Jersey. You're fine.
Hey, I'm from Jersey,
Where?
I'm so sorry for both.
Passaic County.
Okay. I grew up
Yeah.
south. Like there was 20 outside Philly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, I know that. I know the spot.
But I went to college in Lawrenceville. So
Lawrenceville. Okay. Yeah. No, I didn't. I skipped out of college. But yeah. Oh crap. Where'd we all go?
There you are.
Oh, Billy Bob, what'd you just say? I was gonna reply to. Oh, about the rib thing. Yeah, I've had a rib removed.
Oh wow.
Is
Yeah.
that how you met your wife?
No.
So now you're a Giga Chad.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, and on the back of my book, I relate myself to Adam, and then I go from there.
That's fun.
Sick.
Yeah.
Okay,
created a woman?
ladies, gentlemen, I do need your opinions here. So gather your it translates either to gather your strength or collect your power.
Gather your strength.
mm-hmm.
Okay,
I
now
like both, but yeah.
let me read the Hawaiian version of gather your strength.
Kamehameha.
Oh, that's gonna be a hard word. Oh, cripes. Okay, think.
All right, Bat Sauce, you want to give it a try before he does?
E.
Let's see your attempt.
No.
It's not gonna be. It's not gonna
E
be.
hallelujah.
Oh.
Kaumana. Yeah. There you go.
Please say more
Nailed it.
Hawaiian. Homo humu nuku nuku apua. Kana apali.
Dude, that just reminded me of.
Honu no nokea.
Just reminded me of Finding Nemo.
Oh, whale? I speak whale. Kaumana. Ihauluulu. Kaumana.
Back when
Ihauluulu. Kaumana.
sick.
I think it's not quite right, but it's close. Shark bait. Ooh ah. Very good.
I was waiting for someone to say it.
Yep.
That would be animation overload in chat. All right, let me see. I'll pop that in there now. Oh no, what did I say? Turtle below. That's what it is. Okay. Turtle below. I'll probably, this will be the rough draft AC, but I'll send it your way here in a minute and let me know what you think. I think it's going to be it can't be too long, obviously, if this is kind of set on the approach.
And I can space out the lines too to really like get what I need to. And we can extrapolate from there.
Yeah.
Like just a lot of good one-liners like you're doing, like gather your power. You know what I mean? Like that's boom. It's by itself it works. You know what I mean? It's sick.
I may double check a couple pronunciations, and I might even put out a video, or the audio, maybe the video and audio for maybe as promotion for spirit animals. I can do an actual ha'a. It'd be fun.
That'd be cool. I could see you doing like a little educational video, like breaking down each line too, just talking about the pronunciation and like explaining it a little bit too. That'd be sweet. Just like a little shorty. I don't know. Not like language professor stuff, but today we're gonna learn how to say "death comes for you." Let's go, class.
Death comes for us all. Let's see. Death comes. Ayaka manalawalana ma'anea.
It's just so epic, dude. I can't get over it.
But let me see. If it was more like, that's the thing too. The Hawaiian ha'a is different from the more traditional haka, which people see from the Maori of New Zealand. The Maori of New Zealand, they're a little bit more aggressive. In a Hawaiian ha'a, they incorporate a little bit more fluid motion and not just the striking of the shoulder and the thighs.
Yeah.
Because it's they incorporate hula into it a little bit as well. And despite people's kind of ideas about it, hula was performed by men almost as often as it was performed by women in their history as well, which was always fun.
So I mentioned earlier, I think it was before the stream started, that whatever stream we were talking about the Battle of Kenai, it inspired me to go watch some documentaries a little bit afterwards.
Oh, it's so good, dude.
Oh, dude, I dove right into Alexander the Great because my son's name is Alexander, so I just dove into that. And speaking of haka and ha'a, he won a battle, at least one, with a haka. I can't remember what city he was attacking, but it was like a walled city. He was marching up to it, and basically what happened is he made a mistake and didn't realize, like, it was just like hubris, you know. He made a mistake, and basically he left himself open to be ambushed from the nearby forest from an entire army that just came out of nowhere, like up a hill too, I think. And so he had to think fast because he was basically as good as dead. And I think what he ended up doing is he just like demonstrated the sheer discipline that his army had, and like just,
I remember reading about that.
Yeah, he just like demonstrated something, and then had his main infantry just charge towards the freaking. Oh, that's what it was. He did like a haka type thing, and I think it was he was aware that he was in a concave valley. Like I said, it was uphill. You know what I mean? So he's like, imagine this giant crater shape, just huge, like an open field that is concave. He had the foresight to know that would affect the sound a certain way. So he had his army do like a haka with all their shields and spears and stuff to make them sound like there was more of them. And then he had the main bulk of the spearmen charge forward and had everybody else kind of kneel down. So like it totally just fooled the enemy. It was a total haka. They got terrified, broke rank, ran away. He cleaned them up and then took the city just because of scaring them. They had like 3 times the numbers too. It was crazy.
Oh no, reading about the kind of entire journey of Alexander is interesting too. Even when they encountered these giant bow wielding mountain men who were holding a pass that they needed to get through. Basically, in the night, he told 100 men, "I'm going to offer you this tremendous treasure, enough to retire on when we get out of here. But you need to climb up this mountain face in the snow and the ice in the middle of the night with no gear." And like 60 to 70 of them made it. and so when the enemy woke up, they looked up and saw the men were up there, and they believed they had flown up because no one could have ever climbed that. It was
wow.
And they just gave up right away.
Wow. So just more like smoke and mirrors, basically.
Yes. Yeah, he was very good with all of that. So Alicia, well, let me think of the last classic that I read. I read The Count of Monte Cristo for the first time recently. Very different from the movie, and I love both of them for very different reasons.
The movie's fantastic, but I understand why they changed it. But the movie's great.
I think the movie might even be a little bit better, but there are definitely some things in the book that it's a shame could not be translated to the screen.
I agree completely.
Also, I think I found my second to last line. It's "Fear leads you," or "Fear guides you." Ala ka,
I like that.
ala ke, ka Macau, ia o. Okay, I think that
Fear guides you.
That.
Fear leads you. I love it.
I'm down. All right, and then the last thing he'll yell before jumping will be "death," because manly stuff, right?
Leroy Jenkins.
Hentai. Fear guides you. There we go. And fear guides you. There we go. Okay.
Bravery is your spirit, dude. Animation Overload is just slinging them.
I know, dude. He's bringing him in, man. It's awesome.
It's sick. Do you guys want to hear a little bit of spirit animals?
I'm down. If you guys are,
Yeah.
we're just hanging out, man. It's a good time.
I'll read you either the first page or the last one so far, whichever you guys want.
Just do the first one.
First one, yeah.
All right. And I haven't, like yesterday, I just did a massive writing sprint and I haven't checked my work. So, and I am aware that I do have to go back and add a description of something, but I don't think that that's in the first page. I think the first page is good.
Is this your first draft or?
Oh, first draft. Like I said, I haven't even proofread it yet. I'm very much still in like sprint mode, trying to finish it before I go through and fine tooth it, so to speak. Yeah. But let's see what I got here.
Also, AC, I'm sending you the document. It's the Hawaiian line, then the English line, but you can look at that later. There we go.
I'll incorporate that for sure. It'll be exact, and I mean, people will be able to be like, "Oh, that's Hawaiian," but I think that's cool. It's not Hawaiian in my world.
It'll be something, man. It'll be not enough people know Hawaiian for it to be a problem, but yeah.
Christian, how far are you on your draft? That short story.
Which one?
The whites.
The whites?
Whites.
Alicia, I feel like you need context. There's a story here where they're going to be in an airship. It's a new emerging technology kind of thing in this fantasy world, and they crash on a continent previously undiscovered by more civilized, like kind of civilized part of the world.
Okay.
And originally, I had a placeholder name for the relatively Caucasian-looking natives who live there, very tribal in their nature. And as a joke and a placeholder, I named them the Whites, Hwaites. And then I couldn't think of a better name, and so that's what it is now.
Oh my god!
Anyway, they landed on this land, and we discovered the Whites.
You could have Hank Hill saying that. I discovered the Whites.
Now you sound like where I live now. I'm just like,
You definitely got to have a Easter egg scene of the reverse of in Ace Ventura.
Oh,
the White Devil scene.
They did not know disease before the white man came. Also, anyone notice the very Hawaiian Tongan Hawaiian or African chief in that movie?
Yes.
It was so. I'm like, what are you guys doing? That's so funny.
I think that guy. I've seen him as some. I think he's like the stuntman for like one of the Marvel characters.
Oh, could be. Yeah,
I might be completely off on that.
Be very funny if you're right.
You got it set up, AC?
Say again?
You got it set up?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm not going to show it on screen in case I spelled something wrong or did something embarrassing. But I'll read it. If that's show with you guys.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
Episode 3. Mutiny and a Bounty. The smell of rotting fish swept through the entire village, clinging to Zan's skin long after they entered the captain's cabin aboard a merchant ship known as the Rooster. They had been negotiating passage across the endless water for the better part of an hour, and the boy grew tired of the bottomless grimace from the man known as Hebrig. He was the captain and owner of the Rooster. His suspicious eyes continuously searched Zan and Noro for something, which made the boy uncomfortable. More, Zan couldn't help but pick up on a mistruth or two the man had espoused. The cabin was richly designed, more so than the other man dwellings from Reba village. He judged that by the mud walls and thatched roofs, at least. These walls, however, were made of finely sculpted wood, and the air within was warm. Zan caught himself fidgeting as Noro continued to haggle. calming himself by focusing again on the craftsmanship of the cabin. These people all have the same eyes, he thought, sighing, so suspicious and haggard. His mind wandered to Vara and Turo, just outside of the ship, waiting with the wagon filled with all their belongings. He knew it would all be safe, but couldn't help but miss them both already. He also couldn't help but think of how useful it might have been to take a few more coins or valuables from the man camp before they parted ways with Durham in Gold. Gold. G-U-L-D. Gold. We took what we could carry, but I never thought village dwellers would be so focused on coins rather than commodities. Noro snorted. How about we work for you during the journey, eh? The orc had been saying. Surely a couple of pairs of hands could come in handy. What do you say? Captain Hebrig's lupine face tightened up, or lupine, however you guys want to pronounce it, revealing a network of stress wrinkles across his cheeks and forehead. But 2 more mouths to feed. 4 if you count your beasts. The metal you possess is shod and must be reworked, which costs me coin. He groaned, rubbing his eyes as if Noro had gotten something in them. Listen, I can make some room aboard my ship and get the pair of you all the way to New Duma. But that would mean inconveniencing others who paid fairly and fiercely. I'm sure you can understand, Sir Orc. I don't, actually, Noro quipped, seeing as how this is a merchant vessel. Hebrig's face relaxed into a smile. Exactly, Sir Orc. I'm in the business of belongings, not bodies. I'll not sully my crew with arrangements unless the proper payment has been made. Are we clear? He shot a glance over to Zan before continuing. We won't be leaving until sunrise. If you two want passage across the Sapphire Sea, best be paying with sapphires. He seemed amused. Sapphires are something that won't lose me money. Something worth having the extra weight aboard. Zan let out a loud groan, not even trying to mask it. You talk so much. Hebrig's face tightened back up with his words, but the boy caught himself. Noro? The captain snapped shut a dusty ledger in front of him and stood, adjusting the frills of his coat. It was a dark blue fabric of some kind unfamiliar to the boy, trimmed with silver filigree. I've said my piece, and so now the burden is on you, whether or not the boy and the orc will fly away with the rooster. With that, Hebrig knocked thrice upon the wall and waited. A moment later, the door flung open to reveal the silhouette of a wraith. The captain's mysterious bodyguard wore a tattered gray cloak with a deep hood pulled down over the silver scales of his reptilian
that
face.
Xander.
My son, yeah. Sorry. A tattered gray cloak with a deep hood pulled down over the silver scales of his reptilian face. His gloved hands clasped the hilt of a masterfully crafted stiletto hanging confidently at his side. Within the abyss of his hood, 2 golden reptilian eyes stared back, frozen and focused. Need something, Cap? The bodyguard asked. These 2 were just leaving, Silverhood. Hebrig shot back. See them out, would you? Noro stood, bowing with a polite smile. We humbly appreciate your time, Lord Captain. We shall return come sunset, then. As the reptilian ushered the boy and the orc to the exit, Zan could feel the weight of his lizard eyes bearing down on him. More, he could feel something deeper as well. Then it clicked. Just as they left the cabin. You have a spirit bond, don't you? Hooded one. Silverhood only laughed, urging them off the ship. But Zan knew the answer. A fresh wave of fish smell made the boy flinch, but he continued to speak all the same. Well, Silverman, where is it? Your bond. Off hunting, the reptilian grunted. A scaly smile, the only visible feature in the shadows of his hood. It's what we do, child. He pushed the boy away and turned back to the rooster. Well, that was unnecessary, Zan mumbled, rubbing his shoulder as the canines came surging up to greet them with open mouths and flapping tongues. Cheers.
Nice.
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
Heck yeah, man.
It just keeps going like that. So
Hey, real quick, can you say wagon again?
wagon.
Wagon.
Okay.
Eric
I
Wagon.
heard.
Shag wagon.
I heard vegan.
Vegan. I was just I'm
He was
humble.
they were
thought
weak
it
in
was your
their wee
accent.
tails.
Yeah.
Sounded like a Minnesota accent.
Yeah. I got that. I'm pretty sure.
All right, here we have I'll summarize real quick the English version of the Ha'a. Death comes. There is hope here. I have a star in my hand. Breathe the sea. Embrace death. Turtle below. Gather your strength. Fear guides you. Death.
It's sick.
In context, this is basically a war chant and all the hopes and dreams that he carries with him into these kind of encounters.
I like
It's
it.
Should be fun. Should be fun.
Yeah, he'll be shouting this out as it looks like he's just standing on water, slowly approaching the ship, and then all of a sudden, the ocean's just going to swell up, and the turtle will reveal itself. That'd be cool.
I love that it's a turtle.
Yeah, me too.
How do you
It's a
say
big-
taxes in Hawaiian?
We don't have taxes. Very tribal. The biggest and strongest get what they want, and that's the tax. Typically, anyway. Unless you're Kamehameha, and then you're taken away so your uncle doesn't kill you as the only potential rival to the throne. You grow up amongst warriors, not seeing a woman until the age of 12 or 13, and then you steal a bunch of muskets from the English and take over all of Hawaii. That's
Correct
the way
me-
of the Hawaiians.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there an island in like Greece or whatever that women are actually illegal? They're not allowed to be on it,
What?
like a monastery.
That's
Not
crazy.
That sounds sus. That sounds sus.
Yeah, that's, yeah, a little
Very
Oh.
no girls allowed in our well,
sausage
we-
party. It's very
It goes
sausage
like
party.
way back, and they never changed the law.
I mean, there's lots of silly laws. I'm sure all of us have weird laws in our area we could come up with that are.
In New
Or just
Jersey,
silly
you
ones.
can't throw a pickle in the middle of the street.
I want someone to get.
I don't know
arrested for it.
why.
I want someone to get arrested for it just once.
Like,
Can't bump your own
Tennessee,
gas.
I'm like,
it's
who-
illegal.
who
In
does
Tennessee,
that?
it's illegal to lasso a fish.
Someone had to do it for that to become a law, and why did
That's
they
what I'm
care?
saying, Like, who throw- like, how old is this law if throwing a pickle in the middle of the
Well,
road is illegal?
Because the last
Nope,
person
they
to
had an
lasso a
ass-
fish, all the women
they
followed
had
him
an
out of town.
asshole.
They all saw the woman.
Yeah, they had an asshole who kept throwing fucking pickles in the middle of the road.
Haha!
The pickle bandit is at it again.
Another
Yeah,
drive-by.
right.
Damn it.
They're like, I don't know how we're gonna keep cleaning up all these damn pickles.
So, I got a question for y'all.
Sure. What you got, Billy?
What perspective do y'all enjoy reading/writing in?
Whichever one suits the story in regards to reading.
So
Yeah,
I wrote
same.
third person, first person. Well, first book was third person. Second book's first person, and it was just way easier to write in first person. But
It's
I
like
don't know, that's just how it worked.
It was like
it's
the
hard.
opposite. for
It's
me.
hard to switch, is what I'll say.
That's
Yeah.
that's the thing. Yeah. I started with first person because of the plans I had. Like it's very much like what Kahuna was saying, depending on the needs of the book. I'm not a first person author, but my debut novel will be first person, so that's that, I guess. But as you read, like the style I was just writing in past tense and stuff is just much easier. It just comes out way smoother, and I can keep
Present tense is very hard to write in for me.
Yeah.
I have a
Hard to
lost
read.
lost love vampire story taking place in the 1960s in Michigan, and it's so bad, dude. I need to eat a trash or to fix it.
Can I read it? Because that sounds like my candy. Please.
When I've cleaned it up just enough to be legible by a person, then yes, I'd love to let you have a read.
The past tense,
It was
present
actually, it was
tense.
based off of an Iron Age media prompt. Basically, it was the downpour one. It showed a woman in the rain in an overcoat, and basically the idea is that he's in love with this girl. They go to the fair, and something happens. He ends up killing this vampire, and he believes that she's gone and dead. And then years later, when he's old and decrepit at the end of his life, he sees her the exact perfect image of what she looked like when at that way back then.
Is this a story you're writing?
Yeah,
It was a image prompt from Iron Mage Media. I wrote for that one too. No
Yeah.
vampires.
Oh, that's just Christian, you know.
Do you want it to be?
He needs his own, Edward.
Those prompts are amazing, by the way. Can we talk about the prompts? They're so
prompts are
awesome.
fun.
What a good
Alicia,
idea.
if you've never checked it out, Richard from IronAge.media, he does weekly and monthly writing prompts, and they're all based with images, and people participate, and you can submit stories, and then there's a chance you could end up in the magazine too. So if you ever,
Oh,
if you
awesome!
ever
I'll
have an
definitely check it
interest-
out.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah. The top ones get, he has a little section in every magazine for those.
Yeah, and people
sick.
vote
That's
for
awesome.
their favorite ones, and some of them, especially the ones with anyone with fire in it, gets a lot of submissions. I'm not sure why.
It's a scam. I didn't win.
I didn't either, but it got me a book, and it
Yeah.
got me a whole bunch of ideas, and it got me on Iron Age Nights.
And that's what a
Because
prompt
it's
should
just
do
like-
for a writer, honestly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call myself a writer just because I lost all my other books, and then I've not been able to build a habit recently with it.
I'm trying to
But
get back into the habit.
it's hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
I've already told these guys, but I had an entire book written that was deleted by somebody.
Oh no!
That's what I said.
Oh no!
Oh, that hurts.
Recently?
That
My
hurts so
soul.
bad. Oh my god,
Oh my
dude.
god! I would cry for like ever.
Oh,
That's
I
like-
I threw rocks. I was so upset.
Dude, yeah. That's like your dog getting hit by a car or getting into an accident and losing your car, like totaling it. A whole bunch of stuff. It's like a whole bunch of stuff happening. It's just
Yeah.
like a nightmare.
My biggest problem with writing is I have a copy editing background,
Oh,
and
so you want to fix it while you're going?
Yeah.
I can't, I know you're supposed to just write it, and I just keep on stopping and starting because that's where my brain goes.
Sorry, I was trying to feel more
Christian's
Hawaiian.
Your character Christian killed my my enthusiasm in my first draft of a short story. Like fucking killed.
Oh,
She'll
Hated that
Yeah.
segment so
what did
much.
I do? I didn't say anything that mean about your book, about your story.
That mean?
No, not you. Your character. In
Oh
Bad.
yeah. He was mad at me for it was like the girlfriend who's mad at you over something you did in a dream, and he's like, also F Christian. I'm like, what did I do?
the parts
Oh,
were
it's
just.
fun. So Alicia, how do you go about planning like your social media, like for YouTube and all that? Like, how do you go about like what inspires you to do certain projects, or like what kind of drives you go in that direction?
Well, I've shifted a lot because I was doing so much. Because I just hit my first year on YouTube, so I was doing so much of what everybody does on YouTube just to try to get people to subscribe and stuff, and I was just not. I was hating everything I was reading. It was hard to
Oh.
like talk about it. So this year I'm going into like doing what I want, and if people watch, great. If they don't, that's okay. Like,
Well, it's like there's two different basic ways to approach YouTube successfully as a creator, and one is to have one thing that you do very, very well that's good production value and
yeah,
entertaining, and like be very knowledgeable about that one thing, or you can have a very strong personality and do a little bit of whatever you want, and hopefully once you have enough of an audience they'll stick around for you, not just what the
yeah,
content
exactly.
is.
That's what I'm hoping for the latter, because people are like, pitch your channel, and I'm like, I can't do that because I read classics, I read romance, I read hardcore fantasy, I read sci-fi, I read it all. So it's like I'm not just a romance channel. I have had romance authors on my channel, like, but
Yes.
that's not all that I read.
There's like for people who go to BookTube for romance,
Hmm.
it's a very different BookTube than like say
It's
what most of us
very
participate in.
catty. It's very
It's-
high school.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of middle-aged women who read young adult or like supernatural romance kind of figure. Like I'm generalizing a little bit, but you know
It's
what I'm
a lot
talking
of the
about
stuff
a
you
little
used to see on Twitter when Twitter was still Twitter.
bit. Yeah.
Without going into too much detail, basically.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Since you're probably more into the romance genre as a whole than most of us,
Okay.
I occasionally will dip into romance just to see if I find something I like or to
Mhm.
try something new. Like I read Wolf Girl last year. Bad werewolf female wish fulfillment smut. Not for me, but can you is there a romance book or series in fantasy or sci-fi that you could recommend that you think a man would enjoy?
Romance book in sci-fi and fantasy. Anything
Yeah.
by Alona Andrews?
All right, Ilona. How do you spell that? E.
It's I. Alona Andrews, because it's a writing duo. It's a wife and a husband. They write together.
Okay. Ilona Andrews.
Yes. It's very
Okay, sweet.
sci-fi, but cheeky sci-fi. So you'll giggle.
All right,
that's,
since we're-
that's
but
fun.
it's still sci-fi.
what was the name of the really bad one with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt? Someone cut it together to make it a horror movie.
Oh yeah, they're on a boat or a spaceship. Yeah.
Yeah, so someone cut it together like The Shining, and it actually made it into a good movie. I know what movie we're talking about.
It ruined Chris Pratt's relationship.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, that was the movie that killed his marriage with.
Well, he was
the
married
scary
to that
movie girl.
comedian for a long time.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
did
the
he
girl,
get
the main
married?
character from all the scary movies.
She was
Oh.
also she was also the crazy celebrity in Just Friends.
Passengers.
I love that movie, by the way. Passengers. That's it.
How did that kill his marriage?
So basically, there were so many rumors of Chris Pratt
Him
and
and
Jennifer Lawrence
Jennifer.
hooking up that
Oh wow.
whether it's true or not, who knows? But she said the wife couldn't take the rumors or whatever.
I just don't like him anymore.
It's
You
all just
actually
kind
had
of
like a
conjecture.
loyal Hollywood wife. That's rare.
Yeah, no, what was it? From her
Who knows?
perspective, it was weird because she married him back when he was kind of a nobody. Like in
She was
Hollywood,
more
not
famous when they married.
Oh, way more famous. Like he was barely.
he
a
was way
name.
more famous when they married.
And then suddenly he loses all this weight, starts getting all these like heartthrob and like big action hero roles, and some people don't handle such a dramatic transformation that well.
Hold up.
No.
Are
And a
y'all
lot of
sure
it
it
also-
was Passengers? Are y'all sure it was Passengers that broke their romance, or remembering that they were in like movie 45?
I forgot
Both
that
of them
movie
were in that.
existed.
She takes a big
Movie
bump on his
43
chest.
or 42. Yeah.
I remember
Whatever
that.
it was called.
It was-
Jesus
Either
Christ.
way, their whole plot is her taking a dump on his chest.
Yeah, I think they just remembered that.
I couldn't take anything from that movie because I remember it came out. I was like, oh my god, they have all these famous people. It's gonna be awesome. And it was
No,
not.
it's
Eddie
not.
Jackman with the
He was like the-
sack on his chin.
Yeah, the ball.
It was the
sack,
first
yeah.
movie I DNF'd.
I thought it was kind of fun at the time. Just because it's shock value, though. Like I didn't even remember it existed until now.
If you
So
want
that tells you all
shock
about
value, watch Jackass. That's a
Right.
great shock
Yeah.
value kind of movie.
That's-
I watched
that
the
bugs me.
Jackass Forever in theaters in Alaska with my buddy, his dad, and my dad almost came with us. If he would have left in the first scene where they had the penis monster going through the
Yeah. Yeah. The penis monster. What about the?
How much was the budget of that movie, by the way?
I
Probably
don't know
nothing. Probably
enough.
nothing.
It was
Yeah,
enough.
they just had iPhones and ran around.
Remember when they threw the fat guy onto the cactus?
What? Oh,
Have you not
Jackass.
seen
Oh.
Jackass Forever? It's maybe the
Yeah.
most
No,
brutal
I've seen them
Jackass
all.
they ever made.
Was that the second to last one?
No, it's the last one. It's the last one.
Oh yeah, it was a little bit.
Which one?
A little
what
bit
was
disappointing.
what was the other big scenes in the last one? Because I don't remember. I got one of them.
They tied the guy to a chair, poured honey on him, and put salmon in his pockets, and released a live
Put him in
bear
a-
into the room after he was handcuffed to a chair.
Yeah.
They had rattlesnakes in a dark room and a guy with a taser zapping people with night fishing goggles. Also, they had pins and marbles on the floor. Dude, they got messed up. They got
Yeah.
messed up.
Yeah.
They're very male centric humor movies.
Yeah. My brother loved them when we were growing up.
Which one had it where he put his thing in the sock and had a snake bite it?
That's what I was going to bring up.
That was the second one.
Yeah, beginning of the second one, right? It was like right away, right?
No, it was right after like the first skit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, when
Yeah,
those movies first came out, that was something else. It was like insane.
People were saying it was fake. I'm like, no, it's not.
Dude, have you heard
Christian knows all about
Steve-O's?
it.
Yeah. Have you heard Steve-O's episode on Rogan?
I have. Yeah, that was wild.
No, but I've watched a lot of his own interviews.
Yeah. He'll talk about it pretty open.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
I have a question. All of you, what are your top like 2 or 3 favorite classic books? If you have to pick a few, I gave 2 or 3 so you can name a couple.
Oh, so I know Starship Trooper.
That's
Sick.
a great book.
I still have to
Okay.
read that, by the way.
Yeah.
Way different than the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I loved the movie as a kid.
The movie's fun. It is fun.
Yeah, the
but
movie's
it's
fun.
just- It's
As
not
an
the
adult,
book.
I was like, why did I like this? Because I watched it like a year ago, and I'm like, why did I like this? But I liked it as a kid.
Because
Dude,
it's funny and it's like very obvious and in your face about it, and it's just like
And
people
it had
being loud and
Catherine O'Neill in
patriotic.
it.
I'm a military scientist.
And Neil
Listen,
Patrick Harris.
Who
I'm
was the
like
one who
my
played?
part.
Who was the one who played the redhead in that movie?
Oh,
The girl.
Yeah, she was hot.
I
as shit.
don't know.
Denise Richards.
Yeah,
That's
she was
right.
really hot.
that's
No,
that's
Denise
right.
Richards wasn't a redhead. She was the.
Oh,
she wasn't. She was the
beloved-
like main. Yeah, the
Yeah.
officer pilot. Yeah.
Yeah, then what was the redhead one?
I don't remember. It's been too long since I saw that.
She's
movie.
the reason you watched the movie.
Yeah, I get so annoyed whenever Royce talks about it, and he's like, "The movie wasn't that good," and I'm like, nobody's saying it's that great, but
I love Royce, but he's very wrong about a few things.
It's a
including
guilty pleasure. That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
a guilty
Yeah.
pleasure.
You can
Well,
enjoy
Diana
it for-
Meyer.
you have to not take it. It's a fun, like nothing like the bookstore. Like for me, like thinking about classic books, I think Frankenstein is my favorite classic book of all time. If I have
The way
to
the
just pick one.
Frankenstein's fantastic.
The way the book's described to me, been described to me, is it's basically
it's philosophy.
right wing, not right wing, but like heavily militaristic, like Star Trek.
Veteran propaganda.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
I mean,
it
a
is a
little bit,
philosophy
but
book.
it
That's
actually
it.
it
Right.
does ask some interesting questions and put
Yeah.
some interesting ideas
Yeah.
forward. Did you
Right,
ever
but
read
I-
Starship Troopers, the book, Alicia?
No, I didn't even know it was a book, to be honest.
The book is way different, and it's actually serious, and it's really good. I do recommend
Okay,
it. It is a
I'll
classic
put it on my
book.
list to check out for sure.
I mean,
Okay.
the author.
You'll be shocked after watching the watching the movie. It's like
Yeah.
at one point he has a conversation with his father. Instead of his father like in the
Oh
movie
my
saying,
God.
"Oh, if you go off to the army, like you're done. I'm cutting you off." Like in the book, he's like, "Hey, you could go to Mars. You could do this, and in a couple of years, you could be making a lot of money, employing a lot of people, providing a real service to our kind of to our country and such." Or
Right.
you can go off to war, possibly die for a very nondescript kind of reasons in a conflict we don't really understand
Yeah.
for reasons of pride. And
Yep.
But there's
like it's a lot.
actually
It's
a
even
reason.
deeper than that.
And
But like that's the kind of conversation they were having.
The recruiter,
Okay.
the recruiter's in the wheelchair. I mean, in the movie, he's in the wheelchair too, but in the book, they explain it's like, yeah, because they don't want you to enlist. They want to like dissuade, well, basically to dissuade the people that are like not in it to like in it.
It's like
but no,
they don't. In the book they don't conscript people. They only take volunteers.
yeah,
And,
Yeah,
and
so
they
it's
also
like
give
that
them
in the
they give them an out. They can quit for any reason at any time, even before the drop of a mission. As someone in the middle of their service, they can just quit and say that's it.
So in the movie, you weren't forced to join the military either.
yeah, it's true.
Right. And they were
Yeah.
allowed to take vacations. There's a lot of actually it's the logic behind the whole the movie is fascist thing. It looks like Swiss cheese. It's just filled with holes because like John Douglas has a great thread of it about it on Twitter. He like just broke it down.
I have one
Johnny
too. All I
Rico-
said was that I was reading the book and that it was different than the movie, and then the internet exploded.
Yeah.
Johnny
Yeah, but,
Rico's
like,
parents in the movies just proved that like you don't have to have a citizen to be successful in their society because his parents are very rich, very well off, have
Yeah.
great careers, not
Yeah.
citizens.
No,
Yep.
the philosophy basically is you need to sacrifice something in order to have a say in
Right.
what, like, your vote, right?
Yeah, you have to have done your term of service in order to have
Yeah.
be a citizen and have the right to vote and all of that jazz.
Yeah.
Which is,
That doesn't mean you don't get like rights and other things as a non-citizen.
Mhm.
but to
Yeah.
change the course of the government and how society functions, you do have to, like, basically you have to have served in the given the ultimate service for that country.
It's so the book doesn't explore it, but they do kind of hint out that military service isn't the only way because they said military service is
That's
guaranteed citizenship.
Yeah.
But so I mean, the author he goes and he creates a lot of sci-fi stuff, and he makes these worlds to kind of explore these philosophies. So somebody who just reads Starship Trooper is going to be like, "Oh, this guy is like super militaristic, like hardcore." But then you read like Stranger in a Strange Land, and you're like, "Yeah, kind of different philosophy going on there."
a little bit.
Yeah.
Also,
Let's go check
Brian
it
or
out.
Herman, either one of you can join us. We have room for one more if either of you guys are sober enough to join us. Hey, Herman. He says, I haven't gone through the first chapter of The Fourth Wing, and I feel dumber for having listened to the audiobook.
I
Alicia,
really
have
like
you tried
Fourth Wing, but is it my favorite book of all time? No, but was it a good time? Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, yeah. By the way,
wait.
Christian, I'm fixing to put up the poll in the chat for when we're going to do the stream.
Herman, did you pay for the audiobook?
It's for free on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like all over the place on YouTube for free.
And even if you have a it's called Everend now, but it used to be Scribd. It's on there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to
Okay.
go to
I
the
read it
damn
for a book club
library.
that I was a part of. I had a good time with it.
Yeah.
But
No,
is it,
I think for the
perfect
right-
literature? No.
I think for the right group of people, it could be a good time. I don't think me and the group that I have reading it is the right target demographic, to say the least.
No, and if you're listening to just the audiobook's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Well, no,
Well, I'm going to be physically reading it. I think I'm the
part-
only
the
one
part
in the
that
group
bothers
who's
me in
actually
the
physically
audiobook-
reading it.
the part
I don't
that
know if
bothers
I
me
could
with the
force
audiobook is
myself.
The female trying to do the male. This is my biggest pet peeve with audiobooks because I listen to a lot of audiobooks. When
A female doing male
females
voices.
do
is
male
tough.
voices or vice versa, and it's just I
Oh.
can't stand it.
It doesn't. So
okay.
it only bothers me. Like I did one. I forgot the name of the book, but it was narrated by a famous guy. I can't believe I'm brain farting, but it was a guy narrator, and the main character was female, and
wow.
that was a pain. Otherwise, I don't normally care, but I'm like, dude, you at least have to have the right gender for the main
Yeah.
character.
Some of them don't bother me, but it's like when they go into like stereotypes of like the women talk like this, and I'm just like, no.
Oh my god! I'm gonna
It's
bring up-
it's very hard to find someone who can do both genders
Right.
well
very
enough.
hard.
You just have you don't need to be very good. You just need to be good enough.
Matt
Christian,
Mercer.
I'm gonna bring up the greatest one ever. Audio.
Roy Dotrice
Roy
with the
Dotrice.
Game of
Oh,
Thrones.
please! I listened to all 4 or 5 of the books through him. No.
Dude,
Old
doesn't
man,
girls' voices.
only a couple years away from his death.
literally, Kahuna, he died.
Yo, Herman said shoot him in the leg.
Oh, I did.
Right.
Okay, who's the
Oh, there he
clown in
is.
it? It's gonna kill me. Who's the clown in it?
Pennywise.
Pennywise.
No, the actor.
Joined by Herman, the fourth
Are
rank
you
is
talking
dumb
about the
hunter.
original Tim
Oh,
Curry?
no.
Ah! Tim Curry. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tim
Tim
Curry narrated the book I was talking about, and
Oh.
I normally love Tim Curry.
You look,
Yeah,
you
I'm
look
a fan too,
fabulous,
but-
Herman. Very
Just-
tremendous wig you have on there.
I feel very stylish.
You had.
Oh, is that? Oh,
That's Royce, yeah.
oh yeah,
Alicia,
you're
for
getting me.
context, this is Royce, a friend of ours who has a channel, and we all make fun of him.
Yeah, Alicia, don't look. But we have another friend that does streams and videos, and he's very lewd.
David Lee Royce.
Oh,
Yeah, fat sauce.
oh wait, Billy Bob, have you
Doing
seen
like
that?
a
Have you seen that
14-year-old
one?
girl on
Full
the
screen.
book.
Holy smokes, yeah. Oh, I have all these tiny little post-it notes that I hope I don't lose. I'm trying to color code them. So I decided turquoise is going to be questions that I need to answer in regards to world building moving forward.
So, Christian, my pick for it is going to be do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep.
Ugh.
Oh, for your
I read
favorite
it.
classic?
Yes.
Sorry, I was forced to read that in college. I will never do it again.
You know what's
love
I have my own thoughts about it. I do enjoy it for what it is. If I had to think of my most hated classic that I've been forced to read, The Scarlet Letter.
Oh, that
Hey.
wasn't my most hated choice.
I agree.
That was the one I like.
Wait, one at a time. Alicia, what did you say?
The Scarlet Letter is completely trash.
Thank
I
you.
agree.
Yeah, but you
I
also
hate
have,
it. It's
you also have
awful.
to understand the time it was written in.
I put it in context mentally. The
What is
language was not too
that?
hard. It was fine. That book is so. It sucks all the joy and hope and light out of everything in life, and I hate it for that reason.
My absolute hated book is The Great Gatsby. It is
I
a
agree.
pointless freaking book.
I could see that.
But it was written by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Well, whoop de freaking do it. Still,
I'm not a
sucks.
big fan of Dune.
They call
Thank you. I'm
Dune.
not the only one. Thank you.
Dune. I like Dune, but I like books that Dune inspired more than Dune by a lot.
Oh,
like
yeah,
Red
yeah.
Rising.
No,
favorite
I
series of
just
all
said it. And dude, people lose it when you say like I didn't like Dune. And I just say it's the most overrated story ever. As in it's like almost in everyone's top one sci-fi book. And I'm like,
Basic.
I don't see it.
It's classic and it's well known. That's why.
Yeah.
There will always be stuff like that. Honestly, I'd almost go all the way back to some of the back when sci-fi was almost like very fantasy adjacent way
Yep.
back in the day, like John Carter of Mars. That's a really interesting read if anyone's never.
Well, I think it's
delved
the
into it.
perfect melding of the sort of the pulpy fantasy with the the Game of Thrones ish sort of modern take on fantasy and sci-fi. So it hits both of those notes. But frankly speaking, I don't want it. It's the same problem I had with Song of Ice and Fire. I don't want to get lost in the politics. I get enough of that crap in real life.
Oh, for sure.
I can hardly stand that in real life, but in books
Yeah.
I enjoy.
I love it in books. I hate it in real life.
So
Yeah,
my
because-
biggest problem with Dune, the shields. I can't understand the logic behind the shields and how they're sort of personal shields and they can block literally anything.
Yeah.
And
Kinetic
But
energy.
a knife.
but a knife that goes slow enough.
It makes it so that you can continue doing things in your daily life
Yep.
and still be protected.
Yep.
That's the logic.
Yeah, but like, okay, the way that people work with technology in all of history is you make a shield, you make something that breaks the shield, then you make a shield that defends that essentially, right? So if they have the shield, somebody's going to invent something to break it, and they apparently, because I've argued this with people, they said, yeah, there is like lasers can break through it, but it creates a nuclear explosion, and I'm like,
Feedback.
well, that's dumb. Yeah, and then it reverberates back. I'm like, okay, so just put it on a drone.
Yeah, because done.
Well,
Yeah,
If
done.
it causes a nuclear explosion, how are they not getting like radiation sickness from it?
Well, they
It
probably
doesn't
in
make
the
sense.
books they kind of do sometimes.
Yeah,
So
is
it
it-
depends on what they're equipped with.
Is it an actual nuke? I didn't.
I think it's just nuclear level explosion. But even that, it's just like you're extending my belief too far.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I know what you're saying. It checks out for me, but that's probably because it's a unique thing.
I think. Well, the key is how much enjoyment are you getting while you're reading? If you're enjoying it, you're going to be pretty forgiving of things that may not make a lot of sense when you really put your mind to it.
It's the same reason why people absolutely love Fourth Wing, is they get by all of the stuff that is absolutely absurd, and
A
they
lot
just
of it.
focus on, hey, it's dragon riders and sex, and so that's
Yeah.
And the sex scene is so bad.
Alicia, it can be much worse. Much
I
much
know,
worse.
I know. I listened to Roy. Don't even get me started on Song of Ice and Fire.
Peter!
Listening to
Peter!
and narrate that. No, thank you.
Pataya.
Oh. Dude, Song of Ice and Fire, like
Right.
a lot of people don't know, but like I always tell people that what's her name, Cersei Lannister. I'm like, do you guys know that she had like a random sex scene with like her maid
Yeah.
just
No.
because? And
No.
people are like, what?
No.
Well, no.
Okay.
What?
First of all, it wasn't her maid. It was the
bed
mirror
warmer.
chick, and it's literally described as Mirror Swamp when she's role playing Robert during that entire scene.
It's so uncomfortable.
It's so weird. It's so
I
weird.
I
Yes, but
actually
it
thought,
fits Cersei's character in this part.
yeah, I actually thought that was one of the few sex scenes that actually made sense because she
was
felt
contextual.
she felt she should have been Robert.
Hmm.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
you know,
there's there's some
Cer-
extra shit going on like that.
yeah, Cersei's
Yeah.
got
Position
this.
of power.
Well,
Cersei-
she felt inadequate and unable to live up to her father's wishes and expectations, and
Yeah.
then she
Well,
she
called-
transfers that belief into, oh, if I were a man, I would have been able to be
Was-
all that.
She
that he
literally
was.
Was that
refers
in
to
the fourth
herself
book?
in the book as Tywin with tits.
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that's absolutely not true.
Was that in the fourth book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was in and out of that book like crazy because it was just to me the entire book was so boring.
And the thing
It
is
is.
that everybody around her knows what an idiot she is.
Yep.
Yeah.
If we're going to talk about sex and fantasy books, look at Joe Abercrombie's books. It's not romantic at all. It's very a little more uncomfortably realistic in some ways.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh well, it's been a while. That was a good 42 seconds. Anyway,
Is it
going to
worth my
bed.
time reading The Blade itself? I'm like
Yes.
halfway through it, and I haven't.
You have to
been
be in the right
paying
state
attention.
of mind. And it's the first book is slow, but I really enjoyed. The
I
trilogy.
DNF'd
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. So okay.
If you can get to the end of the first book, you're fine. But it is a little tough. I
just don't know really what's going on. Some books don't grab my attention, whether it's the book or the narrator, because I always do Audible. I'm dyslexic, so they I'm struggling so hard with that book, and my brother recommended it to me, so he loved it.
That's one problem we have a lot with a lot of people in the Iron Age, specifically, and a lot of indie authors in our kind of space.
Yeah.
A lot of them do not have audiobooks, but someone in our group here does. Herman, both of his books are available in an audio format.
Why,
and on
why yes,
Audible as well.
Kahuna, they are. Narrated by
They
Steve
are.
Fortune, who
Steve
also
is Steve is awesome too. It's
yeah,
great.
who also knew Ray Dortrice. Is that his name?
yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
was,
knew
they
him.
were colleagues.
Sick.
It's cool. I'll have to check it out. It was on Audible. Yeah.
And I kind of liked Ray. I kind of liked Roy's take on A Song of Ice and Fire. I like that.
I think he did a really good job. His normal narration voice, and then his ability to keep so many voices straight was really it slipped a little bit towards the end, but he was getting older and such. And
It was definitely
Tyrion
good.
sound
Yeah.
like Elmer Fudd though.
I kind of liked it once I got used to it, but I watched the show first and it did throw
threw
me off.
I'm like, why am I listening to Elmer Fudd?
Dude. So I started the books
Power
right
the
after.
shadow on the wall.
Anyway,
I started the books right after the show ended because I was like, okay, the book's got to be better. But it is funny, man. The language he uses.
Mhm.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, the narrator was pretty damn great.
Yeah.
Roy.
Like it was just little nitpicky things. I'm like,
Yeah.
why does he sound like Elmer Fudd? Please make it
Yeah.
stop.
all right, guys. So for the whites, I need to figure out what.
What?
Oh, Herman, do you not know what I'm talking about?
no.
So in a story I'm working on, there's a native people in this world's version of America that gets discovered during an airship crash that got caught in a storm, and it's going to be a roughly Caucasian-looking native population. And as a joke, my placeholder name was Whites, WH or HWAITES, And then I never found a better name, and that's what it is now. So
Or
that's
WHYTES.
yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Whites.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So I need to figure out what language to use as a base for their naming and language.
Jive.
Celtic.
Oh, Herman, why did you have that answer in your back pocket?
It's so quick.
It threw me off, man.
I've seen Airplane one too many times.
That's we must land in 2 hours or less. We have to get her to a hospital. Oh, what is it? It's a building with patients and doctors, but that's not important right now. I love that movie, man.
Shirley must be joking.
Yes.
I'm not joking. And quit calling me Shirley.
I missed him.
Ooh, purple will be names. Haha, I'm figuring things out. So Alicia, you write as well, correct?
Yeah.
Are you working on anything right now?
A mystery right now.
Ooh, a mystery as to what to do next. No, I'm joking.
No. Yeah, I have way too many ideas in my brain. That's the problem. But yeah, I'm working on like a mystery series, and the main character is has a disability, because you don't see that representation enough. I think so.
As long as it doesn't feel like a, I don't know, as like a
Clinical.
You know what I mean? Like people like are like, oh, I want to represent something, and then I'll just toss it in there, and then it
Like
doesn't.
checkboxy.
Something like that. Yeah.
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 That's my biggest problem with a lot of the trad pubs books where they have disability representation. I get so
It
I get
feels
that
like they're
mixed.
checking a box. It's not coming from a place of character or motivation or
Yep.
anything authentic. It's just
Alicia,
BS.
what's your opinion on wheelchair accessible dungeons in D&D?
That's awesome.
I would love to see it.
That's awesome, yeah.
It would make adventuring far easier, which is
It
what
would
it.
make getting places a lot easier. So sure.
Chris,
I'm
I
trying
need
to. Does anyone remember who it was that wrote that book, that indie fantasy book about the guy who maintains like the Draugr crypts? He like lights all the candles and sets all the traps. Does anyone?
I remember that. Yeah, that's so.
That was such a funny idea.
Yo, Pritchard, you mentioned that book to me.
I don't remember. Describe it again. It's jogging a memory. I just need to know more.
Like there's this guy who was hired and given like immortal life, so he could eternally like light the candles and maintain the dungeons and make sure all the Draugr were properly wrapped in their sleep
Jeez.
for people to come.
Yeah, I want to
there.
read that.
And, like
really
resetting all the traps when people got killed. It just
Dang,
nonsense.
I don't remember, but that's
Probably
awesome. If that pops in your head, you let me know, because this reminds me of how the kobolds work in D&D. That's essentially like word for word what you just said is like what kobolds are hired to do usually, and like goblins and stuff is like these little monsters are usually employed by like the big bad guys to.
They were
reset
having
all the
succubus
traps.
with goblins.
Yeah.
No, I've never read the book. I want to. I really want to, because that
It
sounds
sounds
hilarious.
like a fun time. Yeah.
What's it called?
I don't know. That's what I was
It sounds
asking you.
interesting. If you
It's
ever remember the name, send it to me, and I will definitely check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Genius
It's
idea.
like, it sounds like a non-serious kind of like fantasy, like cozy fantasy thing. I'm not always there for the cozy fantasy, but yeah, sometimes it's good.
Well, that's somebody.
Herman, what have
mentioned
you
it
been
because,
reading recently
because
besides
my
The
book
Fourth
is,
Wing? Herman, I can't hear you, man.
What?
Oh, I said, what have you been reading recently besides not being able to continue The Fourth Wing?
No, I've been writing my next book.
Oh, okay. Is that are you talking about the sequel to the Wizard Stone now?
Well, I don't know. It's up in the air. So
Okay.
but I don't normally read outside of the. You guys were reading Fourth Wing, so I figured I'd share in the torture with you.
So where are you in Fourth Wing? I'm curious because.
I'm like halfway through the first chapter.
Okay, then you just.
And I'm the narrator. Oh my god.
The female narrator is trash.
Yes.
Here's the thing that pisses me off. They have such a fantastic male narrator, and they use him for one chapter. One.
but it's like
Yep.
I'm like hearing like, oh my god, like oh my god, like I'm hearing this and I'm like,
Take a shot every time she says I could climb him like a tree. You'll
Oh
die
my
before
God.
the end.
Oh my god.
We're gonna do it for the win.
Man, after I say something a second time, I can't do it a third really, unless it's been a while since I said that particular phrase or description. I don't know how people can do it to the point where it's a meme.
guys.
You know?
but yeah,
What
I
is
just sit there and hear it. It's like,
Is that a female voice filter? That's us.
Yes, look at here. I'm gonna climb his
You
tree.
sound like a smoker English
Fuck.
teacher from the 1990s. I don't have a voice mod, but I can like up the pitch a little bit, and then speak with the front of the mouth, and it just sounds
Definitely
like
gotta
a
do it.
transvestite.
Definitely got to get it, especially when you talk about when you're going to climb somebody's tree.
Yeah, he just sounded
Tremendous.
like-
Anyway, she said she would climb his tree. Also, the language, I don't know, like because I wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't.
What made you choose Fourth Wing? Okay, why?
There's a story. So we have a group of us who go to different channels and read books or stories that we anticipate being bad or that we know will be bad. Or in the case of Hunger Games, we discover are actually better than we remembered.
Okay.
I was gifted Fourth Wing and Iron Flame for Christmas by a loving family member, even though it's way outside of my general reading interest. And I read the back, and the back is really bad. And then I was whining about it on stream, and so I convinced like 5 of us or 6 of us to read all the way through it. That's us. You were already reading it with your wife, so there's that.
Yeah.
Well, Christian, you're missing the point where you decided to read parts of the book at 3 in the fucking morning with me.
Oh, that's right. We were on voice chat one night, and I decided to read parts of the book. In fact, you guys shoot this shit for a second. I'm gonna go see if I can. If we wrote down some of the lines in our group when we were reading it, just some memorable little lines. Let me see if I
Christian,
can
share
find
my screen real quick. I want to show
I
you
had a good
modern
time with
D&D.
it, but I understand why people don't like it.
We were not the right crowd for this book.
Exactly.
Here's modern D&D.
Okay. Cool.
a scoundrel that uses stealth and trickery to overcome obstacles and enemies. Dexterity, action, sneak, attack.
See,
how wonderful! Oh,
very good.
A wet rose.
For real, dude.
Meet me in my dressing room. Oh my! We went to some weird places in our chat about the Fourth Wing. All right.
I want to know everything because I can give you context to certain shit.
No. Things about us.
Okay.
Wow, we said some strange things. Let's see. Where
I didn't say nothing strange in there.
It's not as bad as some of the other chats, but it's not Oh yeah, violence, he moans.
Oh my god. Oh. Every time he called him violence.
Every time he calls her violence, I want to throw my head and throw a wall.
By the way, y'all owe me money, Christian, because I told you the reason why she picked the name Violent, because for one, it's like the emo goth girl, name.
I knew that was part of it, yeah.
And then I also knew that they were going to have her be called Violent. So, at some point, it was going to be Violent.
Oh yeah,
it
of course.
Sounds like Violent as well.
Oh, what else? There's a few more. I think at some point I just stopped writing down quotes because there's too many that made me laugh. And
so my wife didn't hate it, but she was like the dialogue was unbearable.
Yeah.
Are you gonna kill me? Because the anticipation is starting to annoy the fuck out of me.
Yeah, the dialogue is. I was just like, okay, I won't start.
She's using modern speech.
I'll just shut up.
Technically, I'm going to have a better experience because the audio book is really bad. And
like For the Win is a speech that came up in the past like 5-10 years. So
the what?
like saying the phrase "for the win." That's a phrase that came up like in the past 10 years. So like hearing that in a fantasy book is just
she has the modern speech and the modern curse word. How they do it.
You know, the thing is that the
with a name like Sorengale, I bet you must have volunteered. More like I was voluntold.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's also like mention of technology, or allegory, or whatever that they mention, and that doesn't exist in this world.
Oh my god, I forgot about this one.
Oh, hold up! You're gonna give Herman PTSD because he had gas.
I swallow.
I don't want to
refusing
spoil it,
to think
but
of the
there's
other
one thing
things that are a good fit at this angle.
Oh my god.
Real line. I'm not giving you any context.
What, babe? Yep.
You see,
is your lovely wife joining us, or is she taking care of Xander?
She just got home, yeah.
Okay.
And I was just going to say a side note, hearing about all these examples, I'll say, just makes me a little bit more confident in my own writing, because I know I'm not doing anything like that.
It should.
See, I like when I write, I like the language being sort of elevated. And it's something about talking with modern context. If you're dealing with fantasy, sort of literally takes me out of sort of the mood.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, George R. R. Martin, and that's the other thing. George R. R. Martin, as much as I didn't like the fact that he just sort of like kind of diverged from where he started, went straight into politics. His language that he used, the language and the narrative that he used I can't get over the big poop. I'm sorry.
I thought it was is it muted?
Otter mentioned let's not I'll quote Violet with one of her words of wisdom.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. That means the dogs gave you hell, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I was just reading over some of the other lines we wrote down, dude.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
But there's like a like sci-fi, I could kind of understand it because you're dealing with, you're dealing with either the current date or above. But when you start dealing with fantasy, you kind of there's like that sort of like that expectation that you're going to have elevated language,
the cultural linguistic step back,
exactly.
Somewhat.
And I don't know, that throws me out of the mindset. So,
like another thing is only 1/4 of the people who enter the writers training like portion of the war college graduate. Only 1/4 in a timeline where every soldier counts, and where people are being conscripted from all corners of the
it's like the whole point of training is to get them to the point where they're proficient, where they don't die in the process. I mean, like if you're a Navy SEAL and it's really bad, you will be told you can't continue.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Herman, what do you know?
They don't normally
Is your
die in
husband
training.
A military man.
No, I've seen a few documentaries on it.
Yeah. No, I mean, typically you don't have people dying in training, even special forces, and then you're investing money and time with those special forces, so you don't want them to just die because they can be used as other workplace. And then also they pretend like
any mention of privilege or fragility.
Not really. I don't think so. It's not like it's not annoying in that manner, really, honestly. But yeah,
Alicia, I am curious what you think about in the context of the book, The Fourth Wing.
Okay.
The idea, it's not impossible. It's just it was stretching. Like she's a very weak-bodied person,
Frail, yeah.
very frail, and the fact that she's even being considered for war and or how it doesn't automatically disqualify her at different points in the story. It does stretch the believability for me
A little.
bit.
The only scene I really like, I don't know where you're at, so I don't want to spoil.
I finished it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the scene where she loses it against her best friend, the dude who really likes her,
Yeah.
who's a piece of shit.
Simp. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That was...
the one scene where she was like, "You can't take care of me and protect me for life," and that's the thing. As someone who had that same conversation with someone in my own life, that was truthful. The rest of it,
Nah.
not.
Yeah.
Christian, it sounds like when
I give her credit for, because it's very hard to write that scene believably.
It is, and I don't know. It's just like in some of the especially in the later scenes when she finally has magic and is using that as a force multiplier, so to say. It multiplies her combat efficiency by quite a lot once she's able to start using that. But beforehand, I just don't see, even with all the poisoning, I still don't see her winning as many fights as she's winning by the end of that book.
Well, one thing she says, "I'm not a liability," and then they mentioned that the dragon has to use some of the magic to keep her on, and it's like that's literally a liability. What are you
It's the exact
talking
same
about?
sentence. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, the exact same time. And then the poisoning. You can't just say that you poison people and just not explain how you got the poison in there or anything like that. And then why is that allowed in the place? Why are you just allowed to poison people?
She didn't get specific, but she was like, "I'm in the kitchen. I have the stuff." Somehow she doesn't poison everybody. She does poison specific.
Wait, how is she getting the ingredients to make this poison?
She just gets it.
How? Is there a poison section in this?
There's a poison dart, and she shoots it from across the kitchen into the dining room.
Toxins.
Dude, no, there's no mention of that.
She went to Toxins R Us.
Yes.
Yeah, and the explanation of if you're good enough, you just won't get poisoned. I'm like, what a terrible way to figure out who's the best person to ride dragons.
College. Also, this is a college and a military base, and one of their tests is you have to steal the most valuable, what our enemies would consider the most valuable piece of knowledge or equipment from this military base or school. Anything you want, just don't get caught. What?
Yeah.
Well,
how could this possibly go right?
That goes back to the Spartans, where the Spartan warriors, their final test was to be able to go. I think they had to sneak out, kill up. I forget what they were called. I want to call them hoplites, but that's not the right word. But they had to go out and kill one of the serfs.
Are you talking about the slaves?
Yeah, the slaves, and not get caught.
Yeah, but again, that's the Spartans and their culture. In context, it makes a lot of sense. The more you look into this culture in this country in this book, the less sense it makes.
Also,
I think
Herman,
the
they're
idea is
killing a
not to.
slave, and in their culture, I mean, it's not really that much.
Yeah, but I mean, it was that I could see where that's coming from, but one of the most successful militaries in all of history valued human life, and that would be us.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that their first assignment or their last assignment?
I think it's their last.
It's one of the last, yeah.
Their last assignment is to sneak into an enemy castle.
No, into their own.
Yeah.
Why? That's useless. I'm going to break into our own castle that I can already memorize and learn where everything's at. Because that
she breaks into her mom's. She breaks into her mom's office.
Yeah, but
her mom is like the Uber general.
Okay.
Do you know how she does it? Random person with random power.
Yeah. Let me put some context that I found out after the fact. Maybe this will explain something. I'm not trying to offend anybody if anybody here is religious. But the author herself is Mormon. So I don't know if that helps explain anything. It explains why she didn't dive deep into a lot of stuff, I think.
I don't really see how
So Brandon Sanderson's a Mormon too, but his writing is very deep, and no, if anything, maybe there's a religious tilt. I've talked to Herman about this. I had him on an episode of Iron Age Legends talking about like we talked about a lot of things, but inevitably it came up as how to balance like belief and story writing, and it's a very hard thing to it's a very hard thing to put together in an effective way without
Well,
it.
I think the other thing too is that she knows her audience, and her audience doesn't really want depth. They want there's a bunch of tropes that a lot of the people that go for Fourth Wing want, and that is, and a lot of them are very specific. Well, you know,
She wrote military romance before.
So the first one is romance, but I mean, there's a lot of that sort of romance and that fantasy or romantasy, that whole genre, which is basically, you know, stems from people who are big fans of YA. They want their specific tropes, and she knows what she's writing for.
Right.
So, I mean, I can't fault the author for that, because she knows who butters your bread, and they're not interested in a lot of depth and a lot of expression. They want to talk about, you know, dragons, and deadly games, and
You
P9.
can still fault it for being really bad at the tropes. Anyway.
Well, no, I mean, you know, if that's what people will pay for.
I have read other books in that genre, so to say, like this rough, like at least books with the same kind of target demographic.
Which ones did you read?
The last one before that was Wolf Girl. That book is just bad from start to finish.
Yeah.
With no redeeming qualities.
I will give you a list of romantasies not to read.
Okay, yeah.
I can give you a list.
Okay. Let's hear it. I'm curious.
Anything by Jennifer L. Armentrout? No. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. I'm not a Sarah J. Maas fan, but I see why people like her.
I tried her.
I couldn't.
It's not for me.
Yeah, I see why people like her.
What about that Kristoff guy, the Nevernight guy?
No. I mean, you might like him. I don't.
I did not like him. I did not like his French gay vampire future.
Well, I have
stuff.
personal issues with him as a person.
Oh, okay.
Some things he admitted live on the internet that I don't think you should ever admit.
Yeah.
He's kind of
like, I didn't need to know that. You didn't need to admit that. I didn't need to know that.
Yeah. If you're curious, he did an interview where people asked him, "How did you write a 16-year-old so well?" And
let me tell you, boy.
He basically said that he watched inappropriate things with children.
Why would you say that? Regardless, no. Set aside the actual dude.
It was an interview with Barnes and Noble. He said it on their Barnes and Noble Instagram. Okay, he said it on a live
What a half-brained moron, dude.
I can tell you someone who did something worse than that.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm sorry if I got monetized by saying that. But
you won't.
I forgot the name of it, but it was a Green Lantern artist.
Oh yeah, I heard.
And the way he got caught. Way he got caught. Oh shit! There's a child.
Didn't he send it to somebody?
No, he was at his mother's funeral and he put in the wrong drive, and it brought up all the pictures of and stuff of what he done to his niece.
Pre-adult, and was it beast with animal stuff too, or what?
Bosch.
It was a whole lot of bad.
Bosch?
No,
I'm getting my stories mixed up.
Bosch brought up a folder on his computer.
Yeah.
That had horse
stuff.
Living in Western Washington, I am an expert on that subject.
Well, do you know what's like wild and crazy? What was that sex trafficking movie that came out?
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. Did you know that guy did a bunch of research somehow legally from the police or government or whatever, was provided with the type of material to do research? How could he, like, what? How could he do that kind of research for?
It sucks away your soul. No, I have a friend of mine. He he handles cybersecurity for different websites where you can upload content, and he goes through and gets rid of anything that's inappropriate. And he's seen anything you can imagine. Cannibalism,
that's a little bit different,
and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But no, but he still has to watch all of it.
No,
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, Katie. Welcome to the stream.
No, I know somebody in a very similar situation for investigative reasonings.
See,
but
yeah, they touch on that in the movie though. By the way, they show him looking through all of it, and he's like getting really fucked up by it.
Yeah,
he doesn't like it.
There was an interview with him.
Thing, but somebody has to do it.
Yeah. So there was an interview where he was talking about like the actual guy, not the actor, and he was talking about how the first video he ever watched was the assault of a 2 and 4-year-old boy, and how he like broke down, and he's like still to this day messed up from the very first. I mean, obviously, how could you do that job? I can't even imagine.
Yeah. It take most people. You can't do it for very long. They have time limits on how long even the best acclimated people are able to do it. Right. And they're like, you can do this for this amount of time, and you're going to be paid a lot of money, and we're going to have counseling at all times, and it's a mess, dude. It messes people up.
But I mean, it has to be done. So I mean, we need more people doing something about this. You know, this is crazy.
Agreed. I don't think it really needs to be done by a guy making the movie, but
yeah.
Well, I'm not saying that. I mean, it needs to. I mean, you don't have to watch the whole video. You need to say, "Oh, this happened," and then nail these people to the wall. You know what I mean? But something needs to be done about the people.
I'm not criticizing the content. Yeah, the director. Yeah.
Why was he watching it?
For research.
You're saying the director?
No, it wasn't the director. It was,
I'm talking about the guy that the actor played
Caviezel.
in real life. Yeah, the guy in real life.
Yeah, he's saying the actor.
No. It was like the actor or the director or something like that. He for research purposes. Because there are people that have to do it, like investigators and stuff, and they gave him permission, and I guess supervise or whatever. But it's just like, how can that be a thing that's legal and not be in that very specific position?
That's not method acting. That's sick, in my opinion. That does not need to happen.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like, you could only imagine, and that's enough to I don't know. No thanks.
Yeah. I'm glad I led a sheltered life.
Yeah. That was a good movie, though, I will say. It was very good.
Yeah.
It was a necessary movie, I think. It's very, very, very hard to watch.
Yeah, we had to, as I've said many times, we had to pause it and take like a palate cleansing break to just, so it took us pretty much all day to watch it. Like, I got to go hug my son.
Yeah, no, I can feel that. Yeah. No, for me, it was actually a bad time to watch it. I was by myself. Family was all gone, and then I didn't have my kids anywhere close by. It was just me by myself on a dark night. I'm like, okay, I'll finally watch this movie. I felt sick. I had trouble working the next day.
I bet. It's like you obviously don't want to watch it with your kids, but with them nearby, so you can give them a hug and make them feel protected and know you got them. I can't imagine that would have been hard when they're with their moms.
Yeah. See, I'm glad my kids are grown.
Yeah. How many kids do you have, Herman? I
got two. I got two sons whose taxes I just got done doing.
How old are they?
One's 24 and the other one is 21.
Too old to have their dad doing their taxes. That's how
it'll be such.
They did their taxes. I just made sure that they got it done.
Hey, I've done my dad's taxes, but I think it'll be a huge relief when Alexander is at the age where I feel like he can protect himself and other people.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, my one son is a black belt.
Awesome.
Actually, both of them are black belts. But
Okay, what are you doing?
The oldest one, I'm just sitting here talking.
This kid, he's just
Yeah.
like
oldest,
I'm a merry-go-round or playground.
The oldest one is actually kept up on it, and he, I probably wouldn't want to mess with him because he could probably mess you up pretty hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just excited for my kid.
He don't look like much, but he's busted a couple of freaking punching bags.
It's like there are two kinds of fighters. There are the Lees, and then there are the Johnsons.
Yeah.
The Lees are the guys who like put on any street clothing and they just look like any other guy, but they will mess you up. And then you have the Johnsons who look like monstrous, large, muscular kind of men, and just their presence alone will usually deter people. But
but he's also the one who's in collegiate dodgeball, which is a never-ending source of amusement for me.
Yeah, I'm just excited for my kid to freaking mow the lawn.
Yeah, I haven't been in a
him.
fight since I was younger. I used to get in a lot of fights when I was a teenager. I was fighting adults in my spare time for a while, but
I only ever gotten one.
Tell me about that. I love fight stories. Tell me, I'd love to hear it.
I don't know if you would call it a fight story, but I heard through the wall my brother's girlfriend at the time hit him, and I went into big sister mode.
Yeah,
and I dragged her out of the house by her hair.
Ooh, good. Nice. That's not a fight. That's an execution.
Yeah, because we shared a wall, so I heard it. And my brother, being my brother, he was taught never to like hit a woman, so he didn't.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's a difficult thing to work around. It's better that you handled it.
My brother said that was the scariest he's ever seen me. Like he's like, I've never seen you like that. I'm like, I don't remember it, to be honest.
Yeah, you kind of like just rage.
Yep.
Everything goes a little white.
Because he was 16, and I could have gotten in trouble because I was in my 20s, but I didn't give a shit. You don't touch my brother. Yeah. I don't care how old you are. You don't touch my siblings. I will hurt you.
Yeah, no, even it was, if she wasn't pregnant, my ex-wife would have gotten it from my cousin. We were on vacation, and she just heard the way she was talking to me one day, and was just like, she came to me later. She's like, I wanted to throw her out the damn window. I'm like, oh Jesus! All right, calm down.
I've been there, but I don't know if that's just me being like the oldest sibling. I can't help it.
Oh,
I'm
for
just
sure.
like, no, stay away.
For sure. Bejike, that's what.
But my dad.
Does Bejike sound like a real name? I don't think so.
My dad did BJJ and Muay Thai for 15 years. So
oh, that's fun too. I was taught. I did wrestling. I learned judo, jujitsu, and then I did boxing.
My
and then
dad
I just
was
got
actually
punched
on the plane to Thailand when my parents found out they were pregnant with me. So
nice.
An inappropriate joke. Did you say BJJ?
For Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, yeah. So you're BJJ. I'm like blowjob jitsu.
No. Oh God.
That's a different skill. Anyway,
upcoming, there's a new stream with the Kahuna BJJ blowjob Jiu-Jitsu.
I'm sorry, guys. It's late.
Yeah.
Gives a new definition to the word throw.
I'm trying to come up with names, and I finally settled on Australian native names and old Egyptian names, and I'm combining them in different ways. And the boy names are coming out good. The girl names are kind of sounding like gibberish. I don't know. Maybe these languages.
Use some of the names from Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Well, yeah, who knows?
It's one of the greatest movies ever.
I do want these names to sound weird though, so like it may actually work. Okay, that's a shorter word. That could work.
Make sure they actually read right and sound right.
I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go sleep.
All right, brother. Thanks for coming on, man. It was just kind of a
Thanks for having
last
me.
minute thing. It was fun.
Yeah. Catch us on Tuesday.
Well, we'll be calling it here pretty soon anyway. But yeah.
Tuesday, 9:30, RNC's podcast. There you go.
Yes, and we're working on more promotional stuff on it. It's going to be a good time. Iron Seas episode 2. It's going to be AC, Bat Sauce, and I. It's going to be a great time.
So is that PST or ET?
ET.
Okay, cool.
9:30. Yeah. All right, later, guys.
Peace
Have
out.
a good one.
It's tough because all three of us are in different time zones.
Yeah.
I miss them already.
It's
And I
kind of
live in a
interesting.
state with 2 separate time zones.
What was that?
That's almost done.
Oh yeah, what part of the U.S. are you in? Are you like Pacific time or Central time, Mountain time?
I am
Where you at?
Eastern time, but I am I'm from Tennessee, but the eastern side of it,
Oh, okay, yeah.
near Virginia.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm kidding.
No, you can continue that sentence. You're
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Got to drain the swamp anyway. Let's see. I'm. It's no better for me. I'm in Washington, man. Washington is such a weird place. Yeah.
It's on my bucket list of places.
It's a very
my
beautiful
problem is
place.
State
That's not the
Austin.
problem. The problem is everybody else who's there too. But yeah, I'm like Hawaii is the same way. It's that they have so many problems, but it's such a beautiful, wonderful place. I love going there.
Hawaii's beautiful.
Which island have you gone to?
None.
Oh,
I dated
sad.
someone that lived there for a very long time.
I need to go back to the Big Island. I don't remember it well enough.
Are you from there or?
I was born on Maui, and my mom grew up there. My dad moved there for a vacation for it's supposed to be a 2-month vacation. And he stayed there for 5 years.
You ate all the food and they kicked you off.
We cannot possibly sustain. No.
So I have to admit, some of the food is still fantastic.
Oh, I wish I still had all my stuff to make spam musubi. Spam musubi. I could eat that ever.
I hate spam.
How did you eat it growing up? That's the question.
I didn't. I ate pork roll. I'm from being from Philly / Jersey. I ate pork roll.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we
No,
got
a lot.
Philly
I met
man.
a lot of people who ate spam the wrong way growing up, and so I'm always curious if people.
They
Yeah.
took it out of the can. You're supposed to leave it in the can.
No, they have to fry it. I knew people who would cut it like bologna and put it on a sandwich, and that's awful.
Ew. I don't
Who
even
would
like
do
bologna.
that?
Ew.
You have to fry it.
It has to be
Ugh.
cooked somehow.
I can't say anything. I eat potted meat.
What?
Crackers.
I'm a little disgusted by you, Billy Bob, for a lot of reasons.
Why
not
don't you
just
eat
that,
like
but-
pineapple pizza?
How dare you? Pineapple pizza it's a sin.
Thank you. Someone else.
King
who agrees with me.
Kamehameha heard we put pineapple on pizza, and he rose out of his grave and then decided it wasn't worth it and lay back down. But he was
I thought you were
angry.
one of the ones who eat pineapple on pizza.
It's not even Hawaiian. It's ugh.
I like a good loco moco though.
Yeah.
I'll eat that all
Best
day.
breakfast.
I'll eat that all day.
Last time I went to Kauai, I had it every single day. I was not displeased. It was awesome.
My
Everly,
ex
how-
was my hero.
Everly,
How dare you speak against my people?
Hold up, you can't hold it against Everlay. He hates Indiana Jones and a bunch of other shit. So you know.
he hates Tombstone. I love Everly, but he
Tombstone's
hates Tombstone.
great. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's like top
I
10
love
for
it.
me. Yeah. And so I love him. And he's a great musician. He has a great taste in books and comics and a terrible taste in movies. Love you, buddy.
I love you, but your taste in movies sucks.
Yes, you did, Everlay. You were like ranting on Indiana Jones and how it betrayed you. And you
What's
just
wrong
don't
with
love it no
Indiana
more.
Jones? I grew up on Indiana Jones.
Because
Hi, Katie.
Indy fooled around with underage chick. The
That's
whole
true.
plot in the first one.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. All right, guys. Hey, it's been fun. Any final topics to talk about before we call it a night? It's been a fun, like just kind of a last minute fun little.
Everlay said, "I don't hate Tombstone. Wyatt Earp is just a bad husband."
Yes.
I agree, but I still like the movie.
Yes. And that we can have both things. His wife was also a bad wife, but that's neither here nor there in that conversation.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
She ended up remarrying Opium after they broke up or got divorced. That's what I heard anyway.
Yeah,
I do need to visit Tombstone. I've never visited.
I've never been.
Christian, have you not watched fucking Deadwood yet?
I haven't watched it yet. I've watched part of it, but never got to continue. I should just buy the physical version so I have the physical media.
The first season's fantastic.
All 3 seasons are fantastic.
Does it fall off?
No, it stays solid through the whole
I
thing.
think it falls off after like season 2.
No.
I actually think I went there when I was a kid. When
to Tombstone?
Yeah, because we took my parents had bought a brand new car, so we decided. My grandmother lived out in California, so we decided to take a family vacation, go pick her up. And so we drove all the way across. And we went to like the Petrified Forest. We went and we saw, was it the Cheyenne, the Crazy Horse Monument, and
that I've seen that. It's insane.
Yeah, I know, and that it's just really. I don't want to say inspiring, but it's still going on. It's taking forever.
It's a long project.
Mount Rushmore. We went through the Badlands. We went through, the Nevada desert and all that. So that was fun. I mean, I have a lot of memories from that. We went up to Carmel, where Clint Eastwood is. Get out of my town, punk.
Get off my lawn. Anyway,
have you watched the person who actually was shooting Dirty Harry's gun? Like they had the actual one. What
do you mean?
Oh, shit. What was the name of the gun?
The 44 Automag?
Yeah. The channel who actually got one of those, and it sucks.
Yeah.
That's Demo Ranch. Yeah, he got one. It misfired. It's a very bad gun unless you get one that was just built very well. But it's like their factory. Most of them out of the factory are pretty bad.
Yes. Like they got it.
It's such a shame because it's a cool gun.
But the other gun he used was just I think 45 Magnum was a revolver, if I remember.
This is the 44 caliber Magnum, most powerful handgun in the world. And when properly utilized, it can remove the fingerprints.
Oh, Christian, give us bad rom-com animes that you've been watching.
Oh, Alicia, do you watch anime at all?
Yes, I do.
After my divorce, like 2 years ago, I went through a phase of watching every bad romance anime that I could get my hands on for a while.
Okay.
They were all bad, and Billy likes to make fun of me for it. I think the one he's made fun of for me the most was watching the quintessential quintuplets.
It's that, and also Don't Hurt Me, Miss Nagatoro or whatever.
Oh, I'm trying to remember the exact name.
I can't remember.
Have you watched it's a cute love story? That's really cute.
Is that with the big guy?
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that.
Okay, I was gonna say we're gonna have a fight if you don't like it.
I was the big guy. I loved that show. I was like, that was me.
Awesome.
Except I didn't kiss my homies. But other than that was me.
I'm not. I watch old school anime, so I'm like, I love Cowboy Bebop.
So Christian, you know that anime, that manga I was when I watched the video, I'd never heard about it before.
Yeah.
Yusugi Drop or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Evidently, that does have an anime adaptation of the first part.
No, we're not getting into that.
Lisa, have you ever heard of that one?
Which one?
Yusugi Drop.
Mm-mm.
You might have to send her that video of the manga.
It's too late. I don't want to talk about it this late in the night. It's too bad.
Uncomfortable?
The first part is like a wholesome. Tired. The first part is like a wholesome,
like adoption story.
Yeah, story of like a dude becoming a father and everything. The second one's just like pure degeneracy. The second part.
The second part is her growing up and then them getting married when she's older. Yeah.
Okay.
Not as bad as it gets, but it's just like no.
No, it's pretty bad. It's not as bad as it gets. It's pretty bad.
There's a lot worse out there, but it does. Yeah. What else did I watch? My girlfriend is a gal. There's a whole bunch. I can't even remember all of
I'm
them.
just recently getting into anime. Like during COVID, I watched a bunch when I was.
Didn't you say you watched the cow one?
I did not watch the cow one. I watched a scene or two from the cow one, and then I stopped. There's this one where there are these little demon guys, and they transform this girl into a cow, and there's a transformation scene. It's like it's very, very bad. It's just bad anime.
I mean, I grew up on like the original Sailor Moon, so
Yeah. Except imagine like a horrifying body morph transformation into from a girl directly into a cow with no magical girl aspect at all. It's just awful. What was that? My Dress Up Darling. I liked that one too. That was a.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a cute one. It's a cute one.
I want to watch that Spy X Family or whatever.
That's a cute story. It's a cute story. I enjoy it. There's not much more to it than that for me, but I do enjoy it for what it is. It has good action, has good comedy. What was that?
I'm trying to find good ones. I love I'm reading Monster right now.
Monster is excellent.
I'm in the 3rd volume of Monster, and it's so freaking good. Oh my god!
It depends on like how weird into anime you go. It depends, and also like what your taste is. Like for sports anime, Haikyuu.
I've seen Haikyuu.
That's a great show. I really enjoy it.
My Hero Academia. I've watched the majority of it.
It has some weak points, but overall, I really enjoyed it too.
You're gonna do sports one. You're not gonna like say Slam Dunk.
I haven't watched Slam Dunk, and I haven't read the manga either. I've heard good things, but yeah, I watched Kurone no Basket, and it was fine, but it didn't.
I watched Fruit Baskets.
Different kind of basket, but I like fruit. It's a good shoujo manga. Yeah.
But I like the old ones, like Cowboy Bebop is still the bomb.
FMA Brotherhood is maybe my favorite show.
I've yet to dive into that, but I want to.
It's When I say favorite show, it's like among my favorite shows of any kind.
Do you recommend that I read it before watch? Or should I just watch?
I'd watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood English dub. That is, you can read the manga afterwards if you want, but that is the best version of it that exists. Yeah. Herman,
I need sci-fi recommendations. So if anybody has anything.
What kind of recommendations?
Like sci-fi.
Oh, for anime?
Anything. Like I need books, anime, something.
Herman, you might have a couple. A friend of mine wrote a sci-fi series. The Waking. It's Waking Nightmares is the last one. What is Boncher's sci-fi series? The whole series actually called, Herman?
The Ashikazi series or something like that.
No, that's his fantasy series. He has the sci-fi series. Akini
was that was the Viking.
That's his fantasy.
He showed it to me. I was only familiar with the other one.
If you want a really most perfect blend of sci-fi and fantasy I've ever read in a book, read the Magitech Chronicles by Chris Fox. I don't know him personally, but he is a writing machine. He's an indie, and and his stories are fun, compelling, and have a little bit of everything. I really enjoy them. It feels fantasy and sci-fi in equal measure to a degree I've never seen.
Was it Christopher Ruccio? I can never pronounce his name.
I DNF'd that hard.
Really?
Hard.
It's not for everybody.
It's so Doom copy paste with some of it. I'm just like, I can't.
Some of it.
Stop.
Yeah, but it has some shared elements. I don't know if it's. The first book is a little more Hunger Games-ish than it should have been.
The first book isn't bad, but I want to throat punch Hadrian and like every time he talks.
I understand.
Like you're
no. Red Rising is my favorite book series of all time, and it is sci-fi by Pierce Brown. Red Rising.
Oh, I like it. That's the one I have read. I love it. I was iffy on the first one, and then when I read book 2, I was like, I'm in. Book 1, I was like, I don't know.
Reading the other books makes you like book 1 better.
Okay.
It's like I was trying to explain it to a family member, like my cousin recently. I'm like, book 1, I really enjoyed even the first time I watched it, and it was really solid. I got excited to read book 2. Book 2 is my favorite fiction book of all time. Period.
Really?
Golden Sun is my favorite fiction book of all time.
I'm curious because I haven't read the continuation series because I'm waiting for the last book to come out.
Red God.
Binge it. But I was surprised when I read Morningstar, and I'm like, this ends pretty finite. Like
he could have ended it there, and that would have been completely fine.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm just genuinely curious, like what made him continue.
I think he wanted to go deeper into the world because everybody always likes to tell the rebellion story, but there's a lot that comes after a rebellion. Anyone who's studied history knows that pretty well, especially Herman. You and I have talked about that. And he needed to dive into the consequences and whether the dream could continue to live on when things go wrong.
There is another one, and it's not really sci-fi. It's more pulp sci-fi.
That's fine.
Hyperion.
I do own
it.
A
very highly recommended book. I haven't read it yet.
I actually got through it's like I don't want to say it's
Isn't it like 4 books?
Yeah.
Altogether?
Well, the perhaps, I don't know. I know that there's more than one. But it's like a bunch of short stories that are kind of all tied together.
I like that.
And I got through the first one, and I thought it was very well written. I just kind of lost interest in it, but it goes back. This is like along the lines of it's actually bringing back sort of that pulpy 50s sci-fi.
I like it. I prefer that, honestly.
Yeah, because I'm not a big fan of the hard science. I like pulpy. I sort of like that sort of clunky, imaginative, pulpy stuff.
On the whole, I agree. There's only one author that makes me feel differently about hard sci-fi. Michael Crichton.
I do want to read Jurassic Park because I grew up.
No. You can. But if you want sci-fi, read Sphere.
Okay.
That book is a mystery thriller, hard science. It's a lot of things. I think my favorite Michael Crichton book is Congo.
Okay.
That book it's filled with like horror and mystery and real life stuff, and it talks about the Congo in a way that made me actually want to learn about the Congo in real life, and I did.
The one I liked was Eaters of the Dead.
That's a good book too.
I love that book because it starts out as an actual true retelling, or not even a retelling. It's like a journal from an Arab trader done in sort of like that style, it actually starts out as an actual accounting of his journey, and then it sort of transitions into a sort of a fantasy, horror story. And I don't want to spoil it, but it's. I thought it was very well done, and
I will definitely check it out for sure.
It's a very quirky book, but I like the way it was done because I kind of like that whole sort of, reading somebody's histories, in the way that they would have told it.
Yeah.
That can be done well. A lot of the older, some of the honestly, that's kind of Frankenstein and Dracula.
Yeah.
Like it's epistolary and it's told like from the perspective.
I love epistolary novels.
Well, it would be so hard to do in the modern day because you basically you'd have to basically go to into time before computers basically for it.
I want someone to read this series so I can gush and scream about it.
Angel of the Indian Lake.
Yes, by Stephen Graham Jones. The first book is My Heart is a Chainsaw.
My Heart is a Chainsaw.
Yeah. Okay, let me preface this. Do you like horror movies?
Yes.
I do.
Okay. Then this series is your jam if you like horror movies.
I am curious. I do like Stephen King selectively as well.
I personally think Stephen Graham Jones writes better than Stephen King, in my opinion.
I hope so. Stephen King bores the crap out of me. I had to drag myself through Dreamcatcher. I've started it.
That's because Dreamcatcher is boring.
Well,
the
Cujo
only
is a
one that I
great book.
genuinely liked by him was 11/22/63.
That's a. I have weird. I don't know. I don't love that book. It's fine.
That's fair.
My favorite stuff from Stephen King is just Dark Tower.
I like the
That-
Gunslinger. That's a really good book, and Cujo is awesome as well.
I like.
I also
Carrie.
just don't like a lot of the language he feels okay to use in a lot of his books.
In context, I don't mind things like that in context. It's the same reason I'm okay with.
It's just sometimes I'm like, why is I read one and I'm like, why is this here? Like, there's not. I don't understand, but okay.
I think somebody said it best is that Stephen King was fantastic at short fiction. But
And
when
he
you
is,
get-
genuinely,
And when you get into longer fiction, he drags stuff out way too far.
I will say,
Yeah.
2263 is too long, but I do like the story.
That is a big book too. That is a big.
It's
book.
So
like 800.
it is like some Stephen King's like greatest aspects and his worst aspects in one fucking book.
Exactly. The beginning of that is his worst aspects.
So the end of that book scarred me for life.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's all throughout. Like he.
You know what scene I'm talking about. I don't even have to say it.
I know what scene you're talking about. It.
All right, do we need to bring up the normal war from Dave Landau when he done the skit on it? Of the editor being like,
"This is fine, right?"
I'm like, how did that get that? Okay.
Why did that need to be
one thing? Anyway, I'm gonna finish it.
like
that, and
the book
I
has
read
like
last year a lot of Anne Rice, and
yeah, it has like some of the worst pacing in a book.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
you'll
I
get
mean-
like he wants to relive his childhood shit.
Well, you're basically seeing every scene twice. That's the biggest problem with it.
It's weird.
Besides that scene at the end.
Yeah. And I mean, like Dreamcatcher, there was nothing actually wrong with the book. It was just, I mean, and it had a lot of good elements to it. It was just boring as sin. And of course, he did the typical military guy is an actual psycho, and it's like, oh my god, could you kind of mix it up a little bit,
Well, it's
Wizard-
like
I
some
go to a lot
some
more
trope.
people for horror than him.
Wizard and Glass from Dark Tower
I
is
used to
my
like
favorite.
Ted Decker for his horror too. I liked some of his horror
If
books.
you want really good horror, Tananarive do. She
Don't know
wrote
that
a
name.
book called The Good House.
Oh, I've heard of that book. I think.
It's fantastic. It was one of my best books of last year that I read.
I think in regards to reading, I like books with horror mixed in, but I don't usually like long books about horror.
Yeah, that's fair.
It like have you ever read Robert E. Howard or even
Yeah.
Lovecraft? Same kind of thing.
I read excerpts of Lovecraft in college for classes.
His fiction is very short, and he himself said that nobody writes the emotion of fear or terror better than Robert E. Howard. And I think in some of his writing, I like that one about the dream snake. That's maybe my favorite piece of horror fiction ever written. It's a short story, and it's based on a real reoccurring dream that
I
Robert E.
love
Howard
short
had.
stories.
And it's a very look up Dream Snake by Robert E. Howard. It's a really excellent
Okay,
piece of
I'll
horror
put that on
fiction.
the list.
Robert E. Howard's always fun. He's really fun to read because he's got there's a lot of sort of what I call it's very muscular and poetic at the same time. Whereas
Simple, beautiful prose.
yeah, H.P. Lovecraft he's got some great ideas, but his writing is boring as sin.
He can make the most interesting thing in the world be written like it's out of a scientific textbook, which in
Exactly.
some stories kind of does work, but in other stories it definitely does not.
Because he has like this thing for architecture, so he'll explain every single piece of architecture on a building, and it's like, dude, move on. Okay.
There are so many authors that do that, and it drives me nuts.
Well, it's a very that's more of a male centric kind of writing thing, but
Yes,
the best way to read Lovecraft is with a visual aid. Don't fall. There we go.
I laughed the whole damn
The
thing
French
for a while.
illustrated editions of his books Every page is a painting, and it's just
That's pretty.
it really. It
The
adds.
Call of Cthulhu
That's a great story.
is a great story, and the Strange Case of Charles Dexter Ward, which
Oh
is actually
yeah,
novella.
yeah. A lot of their stuff. His stuff is so short.
Yep.
Like you'll have like a 1 or 2 page spread, and then like a painting, and then just the story.
Ooh, that's really pretty.
And it's like this is by Behringer. John Ho, the guy who did a bunch of the art for Lord of the Rings, he and him are colleagues, and that's
Oh, okay. That explains some stuff.
yeah.
So how far into Lore Olympus are you since it's still behind you? I'm
Let me
curious.
see. Then I believe I finished. Well, let me see. I believe I have volume 4, and I haven't started it yet.
Okay.
Because I do it like there are some things I kind of raise my eyebrows a little bit, but for the most part, I really it's a fun, colorful story.
Yeah.
So I still got to continue like volume 4.
There's
And
supposed to be 9 in total, from what I gather.
I like sweet little romance stories sometimes, and yeah, it has. So I have to be in a special kind of mood to like decide I'm going to sit down and read that. But
That's
yeah.
me with her. I have to be in the right headspace.
Oh, Evelyn, I didn't say goodnight earlier, but I'll say it now in case you see the rest later. Peace out, hombre. All right, guys. I think it's getting late here, and I got a couple things I still need to do tonight. But thanks for coming on, Alicia, Herman, Billy. Thanks
for inviting me.
guys.
I felt like I was crashing the party, but thanks for inviting me.
No, well, you don't know. It's like when I went to Bryce's stream. I didn't even know him that well.
I know him a little bit through a good friend of mine.
I know.
And he was like, "Do you want to come?" I'm like, "Okay."
He and I talked about doing a collab a while back, and we're still going to do it. It just has been put on the back burner. But it's like I show up.
I literally messaged him. I'm like, "I have 120 subscribers. You sure?"
Get over here. Yeah.
He's a trip.
It was so much fun. I was like, I hope I'm not too much of a jackass for this group of people.
No, you were fine. Like I told you, you would fit in with my loud Italian family perfectly fine.
Yes. No, anyway. All right, guys. Hey, it's been good. God bless you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Later, all.
Ew!